Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Are we live? Welcome, everybody. Yeah, we live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Are we live? We live. I want to say welcome to everybody. Welcome in. Double tap, hit the like button as you come in, man. Welcome to another 1 p.m. live stream at the Perfect Timing Podcast. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live stream. I know a lot of you been saying, man, this guy is the hottest thing on YouTube. This guy got the hottest channel on YouTube. This guy got the hottest live stream on YouTube. I need to participate. How can I participate? I don't want it to be late. I want to participate. I don't want it to be late. I want it to be great. Well, this is what you got to do. Come on in and relate. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Double tap, hit the like button. You are here. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Perfect Timing Podcast is live right now. Perfect Timing Podcast is live right now. Hit the like button as you come in. Fire day right now. We starting off in Sacramento. With Nick Shirley live now coming in. Taco Wacho Tuesday. Perfect Timing Podcast back with the blast, in and out with a dash. Get it going real fast, everybody. Let's get our chapstick real quick. Get our chapstick real quick. What we doing today? I think we're doing red and blue like Superman. Here we go. Perfect Timing Podcast. Red and blue. Y'all see that thumbnail? Fire thumbnail. Fire description. The expiration date is a countdown. Trump said we just gonna bomb. Double tap, hit the like button. I brought you the receipts. That's all I do here, man. You want to like, share, and subscribe, man, and join the channel. I brought you the receipts, man. Yeah, I brought you the receipts yesterday. I showed you we had command of the Straits of Hormuz. I said that we are the commanding force in the globe right now. Our Navy is running the show. Trump is a masterful genius. Everybody got to buy from us. We are the only dope shop open up on the block. If you want to ball keys, if you want to stack G's, you got to buy dope from us. Double tap, hit the like button. Number one podcast in the land. Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast. Double tap, hit the like button. We coming in hot and fast this morning, this evening, this afternoon. Shout out to my East Coast watchers, man. Shout out to everybody on the East Coast tapping in, man. Shout out to everybody on the East Coast, man. Love you for tapping in, man. Love you for subscribing. Yesterday, we got some members. You see the goal of the super chat up there now. Don't forget, man, as you come in, hit the like button and subscribe. Go ahead and become a member. When you subscribe, you're going to get a plus sign that allows you to become a member. We're running a Somalian special. Right now. You can become a member of my channel for less than it is for a cup of coffee, for less than it is to pay some starving Somalians $19 billion. You know who I got up behind me. You know who that is right there, Nick Shirley. The Democrats have left. I don't know how we want to phrase this today, because I heard yesterday some people talking about UAVs and we don't say UFOs no more, but ET, extraterrestrials, invasion of the body snatchers. When y'all see this video I got up for today, we are starting off in the state capitol. Remember, Gavin Newsom said that California has the fourth largest economy in the world. Gavin Newsom wants to run for governor, but Gavin Newsom slept with his best friend's wife. Do you guys remember that? Gavin Newsom did not adhere to his own COVID policies, right? He had dinner parties. But I bring that up because Eric Starwell, Gavin Newsom's good buddy, the Democratic lead in California before he had to step down. He's facing prosecution now. I have a table that we're going to look at today. I have a table that I created because as I did my research for today's show, and I was so disgusted. I am so proud of Nick Shirley. Can I get Nick Shirley as a patriot in the chat? Double tap, hit the like button. Can we get Nick Shirley as a patriot in the chat? I was so proud of Nick Shirley, not only in Minnesota and Inspire, but now Nick Shirley has come to my state, California, and exposed hospice fraud and billions of dollars. Now, in California, we know about the gases. I got Scott Bessick talking about the highest gas prices in the California due to taxes from Gavin Newsom. All of the oil refineries have ran away from California. How many people see on CNN as they debate the gas prices and the fact that Biden, the reality is coming out. Biden had higher gas prices. Biden had higher inflation. Now what you hear from Abby on CNN is that, oh, Biden was suffering inflation because Russia invaded Ukraine. Why not give more context? It was not because Russia invaded Ukraine. It was because Biden decided to back the Ukraine and back Starmer and NATO to the tune of $300 billion. Double tap hit the mic button. It wasn't that Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia had nothing to do with the American economy. All right. Russia had nothing to do with this is just Abby Phillips. This is just CNN. This is just legacy media and perverted Democrats like we're going to talk about today, twisting a narrative. How does Russia have anything just like the Putin? It was a Russia hoax, right? Donald Trump exposed the Russia hoax. So number one, CNN, Russia had nothing to do with our economy under Biden. It was Biden and Kamala's failure in leadership, which is why they're not president right now. Can we have some respect on Donald Trump's name? Double tap, hit the like button. They're not president right now because of hyperinflation under Biden. You can't blame it on Putin. You can't blame it on Russia. Biden made the decision to allow Kamala Harris to go to Munich Security Camp. Remember, we covered Munich this year. Hillary Clinton was in Munich just about weeks ago saying that we need to give the Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. What led to the Ukraine war? Well, Kamala, is she black? I don't know if she's black. It don't matter, but what the borders are. Kamala was in Munich during the Biden administration when she was vice president, and she gave a speech saying that the Ukraine deserves to be part of NATO. The Ukraine will never be part of NATO. Kamala Harris said the Ukraine deserves to be part of NATO and the Ukraine has a right to be part of NATO. Next thing you know, Putin is dropping bombs like the big dog because he said the one red line is we can't have Ukraine be part of NATO. Kamala Harris starting a fucking war, so you can't blame the fucking Russians invading Ukraine, and you can't blame our economy on Putin and the Russians when your vice president under your leadership, Biden, is what led to the Russians invading the Ukraine. Double tap hit the like button. Everybody watching right now, do me a big favor. Everybody watching right now, do me a big favor. I'm laying the foundation for this video. The video is absolutely disgusting. Nick Shirley is a patriot. Nick Shirley is doing the work of the gods right now. Can we give prayers going? Because Nick Shirley said he got death threats now. We got a bill in California called the Nick Shirley Act. Double tap hit the like button. There's a bill in California called the Nick Shirley Act. And what they're trying to do is make it illegal for people like me and Nick Shirley to do our independent journalism and expose the fraud, expose the lies, expose the Abbeys, expose the CNNs. Nick Shirley is how we know about the $19 billion in the Leering Center. Can I get Leering Center in the chat? We are the world. We are the children. Somalians came here and stole 19 billion. They opened Leering centers. The children didn't leer shit. Double tap hit the like button. I said, they opened Leering centers. The children didn't leer shit. Double tap hit the like button. Nick Shirley is a patriot, man. Nick Shirley's been doing the work of the gods, man. We thank Nick Shirley for exposing the fact because behind the Somalian alleged 19 billion, there is an Islamic terrorist group in Somalia. No one ever asked, well, what was they doing with all the money? Well, they're funding, just like Iran and its proxies, Hezbollah and the Houthis and Hamas. How many people know about Al-Shabaab? Yeah. How many people know about Al-Shabaab? The anti-American Islamic terrorist, Christian murdering. Hey, double tap hit the like button. How many people know about Al-Shabaab? I said the anti-American Islamic terrorist, Christian murdering, Somalian group that they were being funded with the billions of dollars that they stole from American taxpayers. It gets worse. Wait, it gets worse. See, we laying the groundwork for what you're about to see in California. So Nick Shirley exposes the Somalians in Minnesota. Double tap and hit the like button. Everybody come on in right now. I got a poll up. I got a poll up right now. I need you guys to go vote in the poll right now. And we got a poll up right now. Got a pinned comment. We got a goal of 30 super chats. Go ahead and get the super chats going early. Get the memberships going early. Anybody out there going to gift out a membership, go ahead and gift out the memberships right now. Everybody out there watching, go ahead and hit the like button and share it with a like-minded individual. Let them know it's Trump news, Trump news, Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues on a Wacho Macho Taco Tuesday. I call it Wacho Taco Tuesday. I'll get into that in my members-only live stream if we hit the goal. We hit the goal of the 30 super chats. We go on the members-only live stream where you can interact with me. A lot of people say they want to do a call-in. They want to talk to me personally. Let's get the goal. Let's get the members-only live stream. Let's participate. Let's get the conversation going. Double tap, hit the like button. We don't have enough likes up right now. Double tap, hit the like button. We don't have enough likes up right now. Double tap, hit the like button. We don't have enough likes up right now. Everybody watching right now, it's absolutely free. Boop, 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 boop. You know, the ellipsis, everybody watching on the cell phone. In the top right-hand corner, you got 3 dots. In the top right-hand corner, you got 3 dots. That's called an ellipsis. If you hit that ellipsis, it'll allow you to like the stream, right? You can like or dislike the stream, and you can have other options by hitting the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner. That's called an ellipsis. If you're watching on the cell phone, you can also double tap the cell phone to indicate that you like the stream and you support the stream. And again, like, share, and subscribe. Today, you guys, we're coming to you live from Sacramento. And Nick Shirley is in Sacramento because they're trying to pass the Nick Shirley Act to prohibit independent journalism from going to places like the Leering Center and exposing the fact that there are no children in daycare centers being paid millions of dollars. Now, keep in mind, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Leering Center made $2 million a year. How many people were aware that Joe Biden, Tim Walz, Jacob Fry, Ilhan Omar, who we're going to talk about today, and her $30 million fraud mistake. She said it was a mistake. Ha, 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 ha. Ilhan, no. Now, remember, we were questioning Ilhan Omar as she ran out, just like video we about to watch today, about the $30 million. She never had any questions. All of a sudden, she just refiles. This is the thing about people like Omar and the Democrats we're going to watch today. It's not so bad that they're these corrupt people, because nobody's perfect. But what we need to talk about as Americans from a nonpartisan and a non-racial lens, do you want these people in your Congress? Do these people deserve to be politicians making the decisions? Ilhan Omar made the decision that led to the $19 billion fraud. MAGA knows the climate. We know what happened in Minnesota with Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar. When the pandemic came, now keep in mind, the Somalians, TPS expired on March 17th. The Somalians were already 80% on welfare. MAGA knows this already. The Somalian community had been here 10 years. The 10 years, they never matriculated into the population. They never got jobs. They remained on welfare 80%. So when the pandemic hit, despite them being 80% of them, over half of the population on welfare, Ilhan Omar put forth legislation that expanded welfare opportunities for Somalians specifically, which led to the Feeding Our Families, Feeding Our Future fraud, where they lied about how many meals they were paying out during COVID. So during COVID, they lied about how many meals they delivered, how many children were in daycare centers, but they were able to do this because Ilhan Omar put forth legislation, even though she knew 80% of them were on welfare. Right? And now she was worth $30 million 5 minutes ago. But she is saying to us now, she's no longer worth $30 million. Now she's saying she's only worth $18,000. Whether or not she's worth $30 million or not, the question is, do you believe Ilhan Omar has the character to be a politician? A lot of MAGA say she shouldn't even be American. Donald Trump says Ilhan Omar should get on a boat with the rest of her Somali pirate family and go back to Somalia. A lot of us in MAGA agree with that. But just to be non-hyperbolic, I'm asking a serious question about the Democrats we're going to watch in this Nick Shirley video, and people like Ilhan Omar, with all of these questions surrounding her. The questions about feeding our future, right? She had a party thrown for her. The person who threw her party at the Safari Club They got $5 million illegally. They've been prosecuted there in jail. Ilhan Omar had a celebration party at that restaurant. I have all the receipts. Today, this is what we do here. We bring forth receipts. We bring forth facts. Ilhan Omar was giving a party at the Safari Club. The owners of the Safari Club made millions of dollars in fraud during COVID. They're now in prison. Ilhan Omar, campaign manager, who was in charge of getting out the Somalian vote, was also found guilty of $3 billion fraud. Now, these are not speculations. You all know that 100 Somalians have been arrested, right? This is not speculation. We have prosecuted and arrested over 100 Somalians, and up to 5 of them are associated with Ilhan Omar and her campaign. 5 of them are associated with Ilhan Omar and her campaign. So today what we have is Nick Shirley, who we have to thank for exposing the Leering Center, for exposing the enrollment-based funding where daycare centers in Minnesota were paid despite children not being in attendance. Do you guys understand that daycare centers were being paid despite having attendance? And in California, they are trying to put forth legislation where they can do the same thing. Hospices are empty. NGO ran hospices in California are empty. Well, they want to put forth legislation that says the hospice can still be paid with tax dollars despite whether or not there are people in attendance. This may be hard for you to believe, but what you also need to understand is about the California homeless fraud. In California, we have a ton of homeless fraud. What do you mean, Perfect? I mean, the NGOs buy a house to put homeless people in. They overpay for the house, and then they spend 10 years developing the house and never put people in the house, but yet and still they're paid yearly as if homeless people live in the house. In California, there's a lot of these places with tiny homes that are empty, homeless camps that are empty, that have been taxpayer dollars built these beautiful facilities. Homeless people are supposed to be living inside of them, but they remain empty. It's a boondoggle. It's a boondoggle. So if you're saying to yourself, how is it that people can be paid for a hospice and it remain empty? How is it that people can be paid for a daycare center and it remains empty? This is the design. This is how the Democrats recycle money back into their coffers. When we did the estimation in Minnesota, what my audience said, hit a W chat. You guys are some of the most intelligent chat members on YouTube. What my chat said is that they were using the money. So what happened during COVID is they had this extra money because Biden got this money and the Congress gave out these extra billions. The Democrats wanted to make sure these billions got recycled back into the Democratic coffers, right? And so what they did is they created these policies where they could pay these constituents, and then this is why the Somalians got upset. If you guys recall, the Somalians got on TV and said, the Democrats, we voted for you, we had a deal. How many people remember those videos where there were angry Somalians who said, we had a deal? We voted for you. We did what you said. We took the money. We gave you the money. We put you in office. Stop letting the public say bad things about us when we had a deal. And no one talked about the quid pro quo between the Democrats like Jacob Fry and the Somalian communities in Minnesota. The Democrats like Tim Walz and the Somalian communities in Minnesota. There was a deal. This money recycled right back into Jacob Fry's campaign. These billions recycled right back into Tim Walz. These billions recycled right back into the Democratic coffers of the Minnesota Party. You guys have to know this. You guys, this is why Tim Walz was selected for vice president. You think this is a coincidence? You think Tim Walz being selected as vice president was a coincidence? Or was it that Tim Walz was being rewarded for this recycle program? And I argue, and I put forth, if Tim Walz and Kamala Harris would have won, this recycle program that we saw in Minnesota would have went nationwide, because they're trying to do it in California right now. Let's go to Nick Shirley right here in Sacramento. I'm laying a foundation. I'm teeing up the video because I'm fired up today, and you should be fired up too. I'm fired up today. I'm fired up today, and you should be too, because when I saw how these Democrats acted toward Nick Shirley, I was absolutely disgusted. And the question is, it's not so much that we to say something negative about the Democrats that we're going to watch. It comes down to a very simple question. If we can look at things through our actual and use our actual brain and logic. You know, we're living in idiocracy right now. So a lot of the decisions being made are devoid of logic, right? But if we did use logic and we did use our brains, and everything didn't have to be racial, right? Everything doesn't have to be DEI. Everything doesn't have to be racial. Everything doesn't have to be partisan. The people we're about to watch, I just want to know, are they qualified? Are they qualified? Should they be politicians? Should they be politicians? As you watch this video, this is what I'm thinking about. All my life, I've had to work hard, create a resume, go to college, graduate, get a degree, get more education, get certifications, perform well in front of others, panel interviews, PowerPoint presentations, Excel flat files. This is what we have to do to move forward in corporate America, make good money, take care of our families, right? So as I look at these people, they hold high-paying jobs of high influence. Do they look like they deserve the job? We're going to watch the video. This is for everybody who's a professional, everybody who ever had to do a panel interview, everybody who's ever been promoted to a management level in corporate America, right? I look at these individuals and tell me, do they deserve the job? These are Democrats in California. And look at how they respond to a 20-year-old kid. A 20-year-old kid, a YouTuber from the independent media. We got to get our likes up, you guys. We got to get our likes up. I love everybody supporting the channel. Now, remember, we're doing our dual aspect ratio. We're live on the cell phone. We're live on the horizontal. We're live on the cell phone. We're live on the horizontal. So I hope everybody is liking that. We're live on the cell phone. We're live on the horizontal. So if you watch on the television, you can watch me on the television. If you watch on the laptop, you can watch the laptop. So I'm just providing better opportunities for everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, support the channel. We do this Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. This is Nick Shirley in Sacramento, capital of California, interviewing Democrats who want to pass a bill that stifles the First Amendment and tries to attack a 20-year-old young American for exposing fraud. This 20-year-old young American is a patriot. He exposed fraud. California wants to put him in jail. How do you guys feel about that? The Democrats in California want to put Nick Shirley in jail for exposing $19 billion in fraud. Double tap hit the like button. Let me know in the chat how you feel about that.
Here's one of the authors of the bill. How are you guys doing? We just want to ask you about the bill and why you guys would pass this bill that really is an attack on free speech.
I am not even sure what you're talking about.
Really?
You said an author. I don't think.
Yes,
I'm an
did you
author.
pass out?
This is Susan Rubio, Democrat in California. And yes, we are going to call out their names. And just like Jasmine Crockett, remember Jasmine Crockett was crying? Doesn't this remind you of Jasmine Crockett? Jasmine Crockett had $1 million weave. Jasmine Crockett had mink eyelashes. I'm not joking. I'm not just saying that to be cruel. Jasmine Crockett wore mink eyelashes. Look it up. Jasmine Crockett wore a weave that cost her thousands upon thousands of dollars that was weekly changed. That's why I call it $1 million weave. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars every week for her hair. Tens of thousands of dollars in makeup and clothes. Now look at this individual. This is Susan Rubio with her diamonds, with her gold, with her Gucci, with her designer, with her makeup, with her hair, all paid for by which your tax dollars. While you stay in your TDS and you hate Trump. This is why I say my next book, my next series is going to be While You Were Sleeping. My next series is going to be why this is what TDS is not a Trump deranged syndrome. You're not fucking drunk. You're not fucking incoherent unless something is happening, right? It's not really intoxication unless while you were sleeping, while you were deranged, while you were drunk off your Trump hate, something was occurring while you were sleeping and the Democrats were ripping you the fuck off. Susan Rubio, with all of this $1 million look she has, doesn't know who Nick Shirley is, doesn't know what the Nick Shirley Act is. I'm asking you, this is not partisan, this is not racial, Does she deserve your tax dollars? Does she deserve her $1 million lifestyle? And this is the same question we're going to ask for every Democrat that he interviews. Do they deserve this lifestyle?
Did you sign to pass this bill? The AB 26?
No, I don't know
24?
what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You do not.
She's smiling, she's laughing with all of her. Look at this face. Look at these mink eyelashes. Look, I don't want to, I need people to honestly assess what we're talking about this morning. We are talking about people who have very high paying jobs, power and influence in the government over you and your lives. The real question is, does Susan Rubio and all the Democrats we watch today deserve to be politicians? Do they deserve the roles that they have? Do they deserve the income? She doesn't. She is lying. I don't think, and this is what happened on the State of the Union. What's wrong with the Democratic Party? They don't understand social media. This is a real question this morning. What is wrong with the out-of-touch Democratic Party? They don't understand social media. They don't understand the globe that Nick Shirley is viral. And everybody will watch this poor performance. This was an interview. This was an interview for your fucking job. If they believe they can be voted out of office, this is the thing. When they do these gerrymanderings like in Virginia, where they take 10 seats and they take away 5 seats from the Republicans, they don't believe they can be voted out of office. Maxine Waters been in office 20 years. Nancy Pelosi been in office 30, 40 fucking years. Chuck Schumer been in office. And they've all become millionaires over the 20 and 30 years that they've been in office. They don't fear reprisal. That's not the way America and the framers designed the Constitution and the Congress. Watch this shit and tell me how you feel about it.
No,
Are you
guys
serious?
are just talking about
Yeah, we're talking about something random. Okay. Sasha, how are you doing? We just want to ask you about the bill AB 2624. Why would you sign off on that? It's a direct violation of the First Amendment, and it makes it harder for people to expose fraud here.
We have Ledge Council. They check the constitutionality of all our bills as we're writing them. I work on fraud issues. You'd know that if you look at some of the work I did on the budget subcommittee.
Amazing. So Mia Bonta, her husband's Attorney General of the Attorney General of California, and it was only until I exposed fraud that they actually cracked down on the fraud and made some arrests here, especially with the hospices. And do you know that if this bill were to pass, it'd make it illegal for someone to go after fraud, especially if it's based off of immigrants, for instance, Armenians in California?
No, I think that that's a misinterpretation of the bill, but I'm happy to talk with you more about it. And fraud and investigations into fraud are something that's been happening for a very long time. The Attorney General handles those cases. This is an ongoing issue.
That the wife of the Attorney General, Mia Bonta, is now pushing this bill that literally goes against the First Amendment.
No, I actually don't. I don't think that this bill violates the First Amendment. I mean,
Really?
that's the whole purpose. We have Ledge Council and Ledge attorneys that talk with us about this. Constitutionality is really important to the work.
So your bill criminalizes publication of images recorded in public. You believe the government has the right to punish journalists for filming in public space?
No, I think that is a complete misinterpretation of actually the piece of legislation.
That is not. That's literally what happened. Speaker Rivas, how are you doing? What do you think about the Stop Nick Shirley Act, AB 2624?
I don't know anything about it.
And do you think there's any conflict of interest there with Mia Bonta and her husband being the AG?
This is a way a grown man millionaire. Look at Nick Shirley. He's a kid. This is an American. This is how we treat other Americans. This is how we treat other Americans. This is a way a grown man, he said he lied on camera. It's like the Democrats are completely out of touch. He lied on camera. He's going to try to weasel his way out of it later and say it was okay for him to lie because Nick Shirley is a liar. But he lied on camera. It's like it's so much to unpack about how this is a huge failure on behalf of the Democrats, and a 20-year-old just made you look like an idiot and going to put you your back against the wall in your election. This is an election year. In 2026, everyone that we watch who disrespects and treats this 20-year-old kid with such disdain is running for office in 2026. Do you think this person should be a politician if this how he treats a 20-year-old who loves his country so much that he just wants America to be better? He's not wearing a red hat. He's not being disrespectful. He's trying to help America be better and less corrupt. And this is how you treat him. You don't give him the time of day. You lie to him on camera, and then you don't even respond, and then you treat him like he's not even human. This is a politician. I don't understand.
AB 2624.
I don't know anything about it.
And do you think there's any conflict of interest there with Mia Bonta and her husband being the AG? That just shows you everything you need to know. These people won't even answer the questions. So you signed off, you're a co-author of the AB 2624 bill. What made you want to sign off on this bill that would literally make it so NGOs don't have to disclose their money?
Yeah, we'd have to go back and look at the materials from that committee hearing.
Okay, and what, for instance, just answer the question. Why does your bill apply to organizations receiving taxpayer money? Shouldn't publicly funded entities have more transparency, not less?
Restate the question?
Yeah, so entities that receive money from the government, shouldn't there be more transparency and not less?
I think we want to make sure that we are being accountable to public funds.
Yes, and so you sign off on a bill that would make that harder to have transparency.
Well, I don't think I see it that way. I think that we're making sure that, all of our systems are able to get the money out to community and that there's transparency and accountability incorporated.
But you're literally signing off on a bill that would make it for less transparency, sir.
That's debatable, and I don't
It's
agree.
not debatable. They're going for immigration-based services. They're trying to make it harder for money to be disclosed.
Thanks.
Look, they just run off.
How do you feel about that? How do you guys feel about how they treat Nick Shirley?
How are you doing?
I just want to say hi. So great work. Very
Thank you.
proud of what you're doing.
And how come you think that they're just sign off on a bill that would make it harder for organizations that receive taxpayer dollars to be?
Don't agree with it. I think you're on the right track. This is an attack. It should not be. It's not right. You're doing well.
Thank you very much.
See how easy that was? See how easy that was? Everybody's going to wonder who that is and vote for that person. You see how easy it was to be respectful and polite? Didn't your mama teach you to be polite? If you a politician and you got a public appointment, this is what happened to Jasmine Crockett. Being all this sister girl and snapping her fingers and wearing a weave and $1 million eyelashes and now Jasmine Crockett is crying crocodile tears and Jasmine Crockett has been fired. I believe a lot of these Democrats deserve to be fired for treating this young man so rudely and poorly and inhumane. Double tap it to like button. Let me know in the chat. Do you believe? Put a 1 in the chat if you think these Democrats should be held accountable for how rudely they've treated this young American boy. Put a 1 in the chat.
Much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're a co-author of the Stop Nick Shirley Act. Oh, you know who I am. My name is Nick Shirley, ma'am. You signed off on the AB 2624.
She's laughing. She thinks it's funny. He's laughing. I have no idea who you are. I'm not gonna. Let's not put the Democrats down. Let's call out the idiocracy. Right? We live in 2026. Nick Shirley is viral. Nick Shirley is in the White House with the president. Nick Shirley is on Fox News. Nick Shirley is like a young Joe Rogan. In 2026 and 2028, I bet you the Republican candidate will do an interview with Nick Shirley because he is so viral and popular. This is showing how out of touch. This is what Bill Maher talks about. This is what Stephen A. Smith talks about. This is what's showing how out of touch Democrats are, that they think they can lie to Nick Shirley and treat this interview as a joke and not an opportunity to win over votes. Not only did you put out a poor image of you and the Democrats, but you lost the opportunity. Now, in the video, we will see Republicans snatch the opportunity. Recognize this is Nick Shirley. He is viral. This is my moment to get a free fucking commercial. The Democrats failed. Again.
4 Act. Can you tell us about what you did on that?
I don't even know who you are.
Well, my name's Nick Shirley. But either way, can you tell me about this assembly bill you're trying to pass?
Shirley.
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
But could you please just answer any question about the AB 2624 bill? A lot of people are worried about that it's going to stop fraud investigations. But you're the one who signed off and you're a co-author of it. These people are crazy. They can't even answer questions about the bills that they're co-authoring. Hello, Mr. Lowenthal. How are you doing?
Okay. How are
Doing
you?
great. How do you feel about proposing a bill that would put $10,000 fines and potential jail time for publishing a video from a parking lot.
Wait, can you say that to me again? Let me
Yeah, so
understand that a
AB
little bit
2624,
more. Okay.
if a journalist were to go and investigate fraud in an immigrant service company, essentially, from the government that receives taxpayer dollars, they could potentially risk receiving a $10,000 fine with this bill you guys are trying to pass.
Well, I need to read the bill.
But you signed off on the bill. You passed the bill.
You signed.
What do you mean I
you
passed the bill? I don't know.
It's gone.
Then they do the double talk. This old guy. How long have you been in Congress? This is not about Democrat, Republican. This is not about putting people down. This is about whether or not these people, would you trust them with your vote? Would you trust them to make decisions over your life and your family? He is a co-author of the bill. Nick Shirley is one of the most viral content creators, and we live in a social media era. For every Democrat who thought it was prudent to lie to the camera and say that you don't know Nick Shirley, this is why Kamala Harris lost. Kamala Harris refused to go on Joe Rogan. Kamala Harris refused to go unscripted. Kamala Harris refused to be a Democrat different than the crowd. Kamala Harris thought she could be elected to president being a Democrat like we're watching today, lying, making jokes, wearing $1 million outfits, and never answering the questions that the people want to hear. While Republicans go on Joe Rogan, while Republicans go on Tim Dillon, while Republicans go on the podcast, unscripted, and answer the questions. When Trump destroys Biden in a debate, when Kamala Harris gets destroyed in a debate, this is why the Democrats lose. If anybody wants to think there's a conspiracy, this is why the Democrats are not competing.
A video from a parking lot.
Wait, can you say that to me again?
Yeah, so AB 2624,
Okay.
if a journalist were to go and investigate fraud in an immigrant service company, essentially, from the government that receives taxpayer dollars, they could potentially risk receiving a $10,000 fine with this bill you guys are trying to pass.
Well, I need to read the bill.
But you signed off on the bill. You passed the bill.
What do you mean I passed the bill? I don't know.
It's gone through two.
Shout out to Eric Jordan, just so everybody knows who this is, so he don't get away. Let's go back and get his name.
Well, I need to read the bill.
But you signed off on the.
Josh Lowenthal. He didn't even read the bill. He doesn't do his job. He doesn't deserve to be there. Josh Lowenthal, MAGA. We know the climate. MAGA. Write it down, MAGA. Trump news, Trump news, Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. This guy just put himself in a trick bag. This is what the Democrats did at the State of the Union. It was very easy. Trump asked the Democrats, stand up if you support the American citizens over immigrants. None of them stood up. This was a very easy question. This was a layup for Democrats. Do you know, Josh, you could have got more votes with young people. Why do the Democrats always fail at the easiest task? Josh, even if you didn't agree with Nick Shirley, if you would have treated him with respect and answered his questions, you know how many young Americans, young Republicans, they would have remembered your name for being someone who had respect. For Nick Shirley, who is a viral content creator, which a lot of young people aspire to be. A lot of people look up to Nick Shirley. They know him. They don't know you. Can we have a real talk this morning? They know him. They don't know you. So what you just did is shoot yourself in the foot, and people wonder why the Democrats lose. People wonder why the Democrats are not viable candidates. This is why. And like I just said, this was an opportunity for you to go viral, Josh, and gain votes and momentum. And instead, this was a step backwards for you and Democrats like you. Double tap at the like button.
The bill. You passed the bill.
What do you mean I passed the bill? I don't know.
It's gone through two. It's gone through two times, and it's been passed.
What two times? Where are
Just
you
like
referring
Aaron.
to? Are you referring to committees?
Yes,
Which committees?
I can tell you right here if you give me a second. But
Speaking of committee, I'm in the privacy committee right now, but
Yep.
I don't think that bill is passed before my committee.
he's a co-author of it. He's a co-author of that bill. What's your thoughts on this AB 2624 bill? Any response? Like, what would make you guys want to pass this? Do you think it makes it harder for fraud to get discovered here in the United States? Why can't you guys just answer our questions? You guys are the ones who are signing off on these bills. So what do you think about the Stop Nick Shirley Act, AB 2624? You don't know much about it? Or?
I don't know if I know that.
Oh, well, can I tell you a little bit about it?
I'm okay.
So you should know about it, though, because it's kind of your job. So the Stop Nick Shirley Act, what it does is it shields immigrants.
That's my whole point this morning. You should know about it because it's kind of your job, right? You should know about it because it's kind of your job. And you do know who Nick Shirley is. You should be aware that it's a social media world that we live in, right? But instead they lie. Instead they lie to a camera like it's 1980. Like they giggling and laughing like it's 1980 and like this video won't live forever on the internet. Huh? Like this video won't live forever on the internet. They laugh and giggle like this video doesn't live forever on the internet. It's absolutely idiotic on behalf of the Democrats. Do they deserve their jobs?
Oh, all right, we can keep following you. The Stop Nick Shirley Act shields immigration nonprofit workers from public record disclosure. It criminalizes publishing images and videos of covered workers, even taken in public, grants covered orgs power to demand video takedowns, imposes a $4,000 civil, $10,000 criminal, $50,000 felony fines per violation, applies to taxpayer-funded organizations. Would you support a bill that allows all that to take place? It is your job. Would you support a bill? Yes or no, ma'am?
Can you take
Thank you,
that?
baby. It was so good to meet you. I hope you have a great day.
Ma'am, you're literally working for us, but you won't even answer our own questions.
Talk about it,
Like,
Nick.
these people get paid by our tax dollars, yet they can't even answer anything. This is super important. People have a lot of questions about the AB 2624 Act,
So this bill,
aka the Stop Nick Shirley Act. Tell us about it.
well, there is no Stop Nick Shirley Act, but the author's not here today, but I hope you can find her.
But you're the co-author of this.
I'm a co-author of many.
For instance, it
Hold on.
shields immigration.
Hold on one. Hey,
I hate to disrupt the phone call, but this is important.
See these liars? Do these people deserve to be? This is the character of the Democrat. So when we talk about Trump, when y'all talk about y'all gotta, I love this video, Nick. Thank you, Nick Shirley, for doing this video. Thank you for exposing the character of the Democrats, of the Democratic Party, bro. Like, because we do this every day here and we talk about how great Trump is. Get the likes up, everybody. Everybody watching right now, hit the like button. We do this every day. We talk about how great Trump is. But this right here, you can't pay for this type of publicity. This was the best campaign ad for 2026 for the Republican Party. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you, Democrats.
Wait, come on. Look at that. These guys really just don't want to answer any of the questions. These people won't even answer questions about the bills they're co-authoring.
Welcome to Sacramento. You know, I appreciate you exposing waste, fraud, and abuse. It is rampant in California, just like in Minnesota. And if it wasn't for independent journalists like you, that would not be happening in our state. And I applaud you for doing it. And welcome to Sacramento.
Well, these people are literally signing off on these bills and they're acting like they don't have any idea what it is, when it really is a direct violation of the First Amendment.
Wow.
Most of them don't read the bills, but they know what it is. The people that you talk to that co-authored the bill, they know what it is.
It's criminal. And then to think that they're getting paid from the taxpayers of California, yet they can't even answer any questions about these bills that they are co-authors of.
A lot of times when the media will approach them, they deflect often, and that's just the job that they do, and they'll continue to vote. And it's ironic, like I'm the author of SB 14. It's made it a strikeable offense to make sex trafficking of a minor a strike offense in the state of California. And Mia Bonta, we had to get the governor engaged to reverse her decision on the committee to not criminalize sex traffickers, but she wants to criminalize you. That's an ironic situation, huh?
That is very ironic. So the AG's wife, the Attorney General's wife, Mia Bonta, she wanted to protect sex traffickers.
She voted, she wouldn't vote, and she did not pass a bill in committee a couple of years ago to make sex trafficking a minor child a serious strikeable offense. So if you get a strike and 3 strikes, your life in prison. She wouldn't vote for it. The governor engaged in that process. The next week they passed it out of committee, but she wouldn't criminalize sex traffickers, but she'll criminalize people like you.
That is insane. Mia Bonta, she sounds like quite the lady.
You should meet her one day.
She didn't show up to her own job today, Mia Bonta, didn't it?
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, is this Scott Wiener right here?
Yep, yes, he is.
Yes.
Scott Wiener,
Watch this, y'all.
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Can you give us your opinion?
Capitol.
Thank you very much. Can you give us your opinion really quick on AB 2624?
I think you're a psycho scam artist. So
You think please disclose how you think that. Look how they just run away. These guys are fools.
That's a grown man, you guys. This is your Democratic leadership. That's one of your Democratic leaders, and this is how he treated a 20-year-old kid. A lot of people get upset some of the things I say. I think this is worse than anything, and I'm a YouTuber. I'm a podcaster. I'm supposed to be on the edge, right? Because I want to get people's attention, right? And then get you to listen to the information. This is a politician. This is how a politician treats a kid. And then, did you see the picture of him at the gay pride parade? Look at him at the gay pride parade.
That is insane. Oh, is this? Thank you very much. Can you give us your?
You see him? This is him. Now, isn't it ironic? He would call Nick Shirley.
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Can you?
This is Scott Wiener at the gay pride, member of the California Senate. This is him at the gay pride parade, right? But he has nerve to call out Nick Shirley for being a degenerate. Him at the gay.
Can you give us your opinion? Thank you very much. Can you give us your opinion really quick on AB 2624?
I think you're a psycho scam artist. So
psycho scam artist. Grown man at the gay pride parade, butt naked in front of children, but Nick Shirley is a psycho scam artist. How you guys feel about that? How you guys feel about that?
You think please disclose how you think that. Look how they just run away. These guys are fools. It would suck to have the last name Wiener anyways. So right there, you have literal co-authors who will not give answers to the bill that they are a part of. Some even said they aren't even co-authors of the bill.
Double tap, hit the like button. This is absolutely disgusting. This is your Democratic Party, bro. This is your Democratic Party, bro. So I made as I did the research, right? I was like, so how many Democrats are dirty? What's going on? Because we gotta talk about this. It's 2026, and we don't have the liberal legacy media is not going to be honest about your Democratic Party. So I'm gonna do the work for you. I said, how many Democrats are under investigation? How many Democrats scandal? So we got Sheila Surfalis McCormick in Florida. She resigned today. Have you guys heard about this? She stole $5 million. Again, another sister girl like Jasmine Crockett with $1 million weave and mink eyelashes. And she stole $5 million in FEVA COVID funds. Did you know that? Did you guys know that? She stepped down today. So I created this table. Let's go through the table together. Let's go through the table. Let's go through the table together. Let's go through the table together. Next is Latia James. Lawfare abuse, investigative misconduct allegations under active DOJ and congressional review. Now remember, Latia James is the one in SDNY who prosecuted Donald Trump and turned a misdemeanor into a felony with 34 counts. I educated you on that yesterday. Adam Schiff. This is a table I created on all of the dirty Dems who are currently under investigation. So I could just keep you guys abreast for 2026. It's an election year, in case you didn't know. Adam Schiff, classified leaks, lawfare, campaign funding fraud, fighting SDNY subpoenas, target of DOJ probe. If you guys remember, this is why Pam Bondi don't have her job right now, because Trump put out several true socials telling Pam Bondi, prosecute Latia James, prosecute Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and Dirty James. Dirty James. Next, we have Eric Swalwell. Now, this guy is an absolute creep, and he's Gavin Newsom's best friend. And we got two creeps, Swalwell and we got Gonzalez. Swalwell, sexual misconduct, security clearance violations, resigned, left Congress April 14, 2026. I played for you the interview of Lorna, who was one of the accusers who said he drugged her wine, but now 5 women have come out. Why is this important? Eric Swalwell was a Democratic congressman who was the lead gubernatorial candidate for Democrat in California, Gavin Newsom's buddy and friend. Fannie Willis, misconduct, $17 million refund demand for lawfare fees. Has Fannie Willis paid the money back? Disqualified, fighting financial recovery. But you know what is left out here? Fannie Willis fucked co-counsel who happened to be married, Nathan Wade. I repeat, Fannie Willis fucked co-counsel, fucked them, hired them, paid them millions of dollars, denied that she fucked them, and we found out because his married, estranged wife was going through a divorce and told the judge, my married husband is fucking the district attorney of Fulton County, Fannie Willis. Ayanna Presley, real estate COVID loan fraud up to $1 million under House Ethics Committee review. These are all the Democrats who are currently under review, investigation, prosecution, or have stepped down. You know who's not up here? Tim Walz. I got to redo this because Tim Walz should be on this list. Bob Mendez, bribery and serving as foreign agent, convicted, currently in prison. Double tap, hit the like button. Henry Cellular, money laundering, foreign bribery. Pardon case dropped. Eric Adams, bribery, foreign campaign donations case dismissed. And don't forget Tim Walz. This is your Democratic Party. This is your Democratic Party. I just wanted to show that while I was doing my research, I was like, how many Democrats is being prosecuted? How many Democrats is under prosecution? So I created that table so we can have a reference point. Like, this is what we do. We do receipts. I should do a table on how many Democrats have lost their job, because Jasmine Crockett stepped down. Nancy Pelosi says she's stepping down. Tim Walz says she's stepping down. I mean, what does 2026 look like? As I show you this video, as we see how the Democrats are playing the game, as Trump is bringing the world to its knees by closing the Straits of Hormuz, having everybody buy. We're the #1 exporter of gas and energy. What does it look like for 2026? Marco Rubio is looking so great. Marco Rubio working behind the scenes, right? Marco Rubio working behind the scenes, making sure we have a successful outpost in Venezuela. Marco Rubio working behind the scenes with the Cubans to get the Cubans back power, right? I want to talk about something real quick. Yesterday, the last 2 days, we've been talking about system failure. When we just played the Democrats, that's another example of system failure. Now, the other day, we talked about a very sad situation, right? We talked about this very sad situation. A veteran in Shreveport, Louisiana, unalived his kid's father. He was only 31 years old. He suffered from mental health. He suffered from PTSD. He was a veteran. He was in the armed forces, and he unalived his 7 children, and he attempted to unalive the mother. In total, over 14 people were shot and 9 people were unalived. We've been talking about this story, right? So as I talked about the story and I investigated the story, I said, this guy suffered from some mental health issues, right? And I said, and that wasn't talked about. What's actually being talked about by the Democratic purple hair protest and liberal media is they want to talk about guns. Even in the report I played, it talked about how what should you have a gun?
Off the cuff as he does. In 2024
no, it talked about domestic violence. I said, this is not about domestic violence. This is not about the community. This is not about guns. I said, this guy had a mental health problem. And if he was in the military should have and probably identified his mental health issues. So I did my research because it's not on the legacy media. What really happened in Shreveport, Louisiana is not on the legacy media. So I did my research. Come to find out, he had went to the VA. Listen to this. Come to find out, the guy, the 31-year-old Shamar Elkins, who unalived his 7 children, unalived himself and attempted to unalive the mother, had severe PTSD and mental health issues, and he actually went to the VA hospital. He went to the VA hospital, ladies and gentlemen, and the VA kept him for a week, but they let him go. Before we even did the research, I said, what up? You guys remember the angel families? We have something called the angel families because we have a lot of mental health patients who get arrested and get re-released. and they end up committing these crimes, and then we have to have the angel families. Several of the young ladies who have been unalived by men who have been arrested 15 to 30 times and obviously have mental health issues. They never should have been on the street. This man who was 31 years old in Shreveport, Louisiana, was actually in a mental health facility. How do you guys feel about that, knowing all these children down to the age of 1 year old have been unalived, and he was in the mental health facility? The VA hospital had an opportunity to give this guy help and protect the community. They didn't help him. They didn't help him. They didn't help him. They didn't help him, and it's sad. Double tap, hit the like button, you guys. 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 So what we're talking about right now, yeah, we got to clean up the chat. It'd be it's all good. Stick with me. Double tap, hit the like button as you come in. Let's get the likes up. Finally, we're getting the likes up. Finally, we're getting the likes up. Finally, we're getting the likes up. All right. So what I was just talking about, everybody, I was talking about the story of Sharon, what was his name? Elkins. Let me bring it up. Because I want to go to some. I want to link something. And I felt like this was a great something I forgot to share. This is something that we didn't get a chance to share. So I think it's relevant to the mental health discussion. So I just want to give a little background. Okay, let's get you a little background of what I'm talking about what took place in Shreveport, Louisiana, 2 days ago.
Shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana,
Let me make sure y'all got the video. Let me make sure y'all watching the video with me. Let me show y'all what took place in Shreveport a couple days ago. Then we're going to go to this other story I want to talk about.
Children between the ages of 1 and 14 were killed in what police are calling a gruesome crime scene. Here's ABC's Perry Russell.
A Louisiana community is grieving tonight after 8 children were shot and killed in what police are calling a gruesome crime scene.
We have 3 crime scenes just here in Shreveport. One of them is incredibly gruesome in nature, and it's going to take several hours to process.
The children are between the ages of 1 and 14 years old. Police in Shreveport calling it a domestic disturbance. 7 children found dead inside one house.
There was an additional deceased child that looked like he had tried to escape.
The gunman leading police on a chase. Officers killing the suspect, who they say was related to some of the children who were killed. Neighbors distraught hearing the news.
We don't know what has happened, but we know it's still a God above, and we need prayer.
And we are still waiting for the names of the children who were killed. The mayor says this could be the most tragic situation in the city's history, Lindsay.
So awful, Perry. Thank you. Now to a heartbreaking and horrific mass shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana. 8 children between the...
So I wanted to show that to give a background as to what I want to show. So what I uncovered about this young man is that he was a 31-year-old Army veteran who suffered from PTSD and mental health issues. He had dark voices, and he actually checked himself into a VA mental health hospital where they kept him for a week, but they let him go. Similar to a lot of angel families, they kept him for a week, but then they let him go, right? And I argue that he got let go because of logistical issues we have in the VA, where we don't have enough room to help people like this. And I think it's very sad. They should have been helping him. He got let go. And I think there's no excuse for that. If the VA would have kept him, again, if the VA would have kept him in their facilities, I believe everybody would still be alive right now. I believe a lot of people would still be alive right now, but the VA let him go. So I was looking at something, and I wanted to show this right here. So I was coming across doing my research today. I saw this the other day. This is a clip from a show, but I saw the actual clip. Matter of fact, let's go to the clip. Let's go to the clip. Let's go to the clip because I didn't talk about it the other day. So this is the clip. This is the clip right here. And I was so proud of Trump and Joe Rogan. I don't know why I didn't show it, but as I did my research and I thought about this young man, and then I saw this clip, I said, you know what? Let's show this today because this is another example of how great my president is. So Joe Rogan and Donald Trump just signed legislation to use psychedelics to help soldiers who suffer from PTSD and mental health. Take a look at the video.
I want to tell everybody how this happened. I sent President Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses. It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With one dose of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. And it was literally that quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. Thanks to all these people that we see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
What's happening?
Hi. Double tap at the like button. So this is what we're dealing with now. So I wanted to bring this up because as we talked about the Shreveport, Louisiana case, and we talk about the mental health aspect of a 31-year-old who found himself at the point where he wanted to unalive himself and his 7 kids, right? So I just wanted to bring up the fact that Trump has brought out this new legislation to get psychedelics released to help the VA and to help the guys at the our soldiers, including the guy. I think he could have benefited. I think he should have remained in the hospital and he would have benefited from that. And we're gonna keep watching that story. No, it won't be a trial because the shooter was unalived in Beaujour Parish, shot by the police after a carjacking, and so there won't be a trial because he's already dead. But we still will follow that story. We definitely will follow that story. Double tap, hit the like button, everybody. We definitely will follow that story. Let's go to our next story here this morning. It's afternoon. Double tap, hit the like button. Let's go to our next story here. You know what I was going to show you? We talked about we talked about our spreadsheet about all the different Democrats who have been prosecuted. At the top of that spreadsheet, it was Representative Shirley McCormick. She's facing 53 years. I don't know if you guys saw that diamond ring. There was a famous picture that she took with this $1 million diamond ring. So she embezzled funds. She spent the funds on her campaign, and then she even took a picture with this multi-million-dollar diamond ring. This is one of the Democrats. This is your Democrats. This is what 2026. She's already dropped out. Tim Walz dropped out. This woman dropped out. Ayanna Pressley, $1 million fraud across the Democratic Party. Double tap at the like button.
Shirley McCormick officially resigning just moments before the Ethics Committee was set to announce sanctions against her. Shirley McCormick releasing a statement saying, quote, "This was not a fair process. I will not stand by and pretend that this has been anything other than a witch hunt. I simply cannot stand by and allow my due process rights to be trampled on and my good name to be tarnished." The Congresswoman was accused of stealing millions in FEMA COVID relief money to finance her own campaign. All right, John?
Oh, witch hunt. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full.
So that was the details on that. 50 some odd years she's facing, and then she just stepped down. Wow, you guys. 50 some odd years, and then she How is that? Is that a little bit better? That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better, but it's not what it should be. It's a little bit better, but it's not what it should be, man, unfortunately, man. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's rocking out with us, man. Thank you to everybody that's rocking out with us today. So we did our Nick Shirley video. Let's get to the Iran. Let's get to more on Iran. I got a couple of things on Iran I want to show you guys and share with you guys. Let's keep with the Democrats. Let's keep with the Democrats. We've been focusing on how bad the Democrats is looking for 2026. Let's keep with the Democrats. Let me keep going with the Democrats. Double tap hit the like button. Let's go with the Democrats. Let's keep cooking with the Democrats. How's everybody doing, man? All right. Well, let me show this too. Real quick, so I could show more about how Trump did the IBA game.
But ladies and gentlemen, I want to start the program tonight in a slightly different place. I want to give credit where credit is due. We don't obviously often do this. The president did a solid over the weekend. President Trump signed an executive order in front of his fraternity brothers, fast-tracking the FDA process for novel psychedelic drug treatments for veterans suffering from all forms of PTSD and other psychiatric conditions, including addiction. I'll let the president explain off the cuff as he does.
In 2024 study from Stanford University, 30 special operation veterans with traumatic brain injuries underwent, it's called ibogaine treatment. Ibogaine. Remember the name. Is that pronounced relatively properly, would you say?
Yes.
I don't want to get it wrong. Ibogaine.
Body. Ibogaine. Rogaine with an ibo. It's easy. I'm sorry. I'm falling into old habits. It's good. You did a good thing. I'm nitpicking. I apologize. A lot of the people are going to get the help they need.
Amen. Let me get some props for Trump. See, the Democrats want to pick and choose what they like, but this is not the only thing that Trump has did that's like this. He remember I talk about the MMR a lot. So the ibogaine is going to help the veterans, right? But what about the MMR and how the MMR adversely affected black boys? When they say Trump is racist, I say, what about the MMR? These same people behind Trump right now. This is Maha. This is not his. This is not Chrome or what did he say, college dorm frat brothers. No, this is MAHA, and MAHA is the people who initiated the separating of the measles, mumps, and the rubella. So kids still will get measles, mumps, and rubella, but they won't get it combined in the MMR. Thanks to MAHA and the people you see behind you. Today, they are announcing the Ibogaine. What happens with the Ibogaine? Ibogaine can help with the PTSD and the mental health of veterans. I'm bringing this up to highlight the mental health issues of the young man who was 31 years old, the father who unalived his 7 kids. I think this story is relevant, and I don't think people are linking the stories, but that's what I do here. I connect the dots. I see the through lines, and one of the through lines I saw when doing my news coverage is this 31-year-old young man was definitely suffering some mental health. So if there was psychedelics that were on the market, that were taken off the market, that we know can help our young veterans, I said if there was psychedelics that were on the market, but propaganda kept them from our veterans and kept mentally ill people on the street posing a threat to Americans, that's why John Stewart is saying Trump did a good job, because the people are going to get the help that they need.
I want to start
it's not
the
just
program
the fact
tonight.
that, look, it's not just the fact that the people will get the help they need, but people like the children who were unalive will be protected from mentally ill people, right? It's not just the mental health issues of those mentally ill people, it's the rest of the citizens who have to live. It's the angel families who have suffered after mentally ill people who should have been in a hospital unalived their daughters. Double tap at the like button. Let's listen
Ladies and
again.
gentlemen, I want to start the program tonight in a slightly different place. I want to give credit where credit is due. We don't obviously often do this. The president did a solid over the weekend. President Trump signed an executive order in front of his fraternity brothers, fast-tracking the FDA process for novel psychedelic drug treatments for veterans suffering from all forms of PTSD and other psychiatric conditions, including addiction. I'm sorry. I'll let the president explain off the cuff as he does.
In 2024 study from Stanford University, 30 special operation veterans with traumatic brain injuries underwent, it's called Ibogaine treatment. Ibogaine. Remember the name. Is that pronounced relatively properly, would you say? Yes. I don't want to get it wrong.
Yes.
Ibogaine.
Body. Ibogaine. Rogaine with an Ibo. It's easy. I'm sorry. I'm falling into old habits. It's good. You did a good thing. I'm nitpicking. I apologize. A lot of the people are going to get the help they need.
And that's what it's about, bro. A lot of the people are going to get the help that they need, right? And I pray and wish that the young man who he's only 31 years old, man. He never should have been released. Y'all hear me? He never should have been released from the mental health facility. He never should have been released from that mental health facility. And it's unfortunate that that young man and those children were unalive. Double tap hit the like button. Let's keep going with the Democrats and how they're going to fail and lose in 2026. Holy smokes, even CNN just forced to report how badly Democrats are trying to cheat the congressional map. 10 Democrats to 1 Republican. This is the Virginia redistricting that we talked about yesterday with your favorite new governor, Spamberger. Double tap hit the like button. Double tap hit the like button as you come in. Virginia redistricting still in seats.
Now, if this ballot measure passes, it could result in 10 of the 11 congressional districts in Virginia leaning towards Democrats. And just take a look at how this map is structured. What they do is they've taken the heavily Democratic areas in the northern area of Virginia, and they've created 5 separate districts that basically pinwheel out to go out into conservative, more rural areas, including where we are right now in the proposed 7th congressional district. It's actually interesting. We're kind of like smack dab in the middle of the district. And if you go in one direction, there's another district about 1.5 miles away. In the other direction, there's another district about 2 miles away, really highlighting the shifts that are being seen right now with these proposed maps. Now, earlier today, Now, if this ballot measure passes, it could result in 10 of the 11 congressional districts in Virginia leaning towards Democrats. And just take a look at how this map is structured. What they do is they've taken the heavily Democratic areas in the northern area of Virginia, and they've created 5 separate districts that basically pinwheel out to go out into conservative, more rural areas, including where we are right now in the proposed 7th congressional district. It's actually interesting. We're kind of like smack dab in the middle of the district. And if you go in one direction, there's another district about 1.5 miles away. In the other direction, there's another district about 2 miles away, really highlighting the shifts that are being seen right now with these proposed maps. Now, earlier today, if this ballot measure passes, it could result in 10 of the 11.
So what do you think? Is that fair? What do you think? Is that fair? I don't believe that's fair. They're trying to steal seats in Virginia. Double tap, hit the like button. I don't think that's fair. They're trying to steal seats in Virginia. Double tap, hit the like button. I don't think that's fair. They're trying to steal seats in Virginia. Should we let them steal seats in Virginia? I don't think we should. I don't think we should. Double tap, hit the like button. What else do we got? What else do we got? Let's go to Iran. Let's go to Iran. Iranians warn that Zohran Mamdani sounds eerily familiar to Ayatollah before he seized power in Iran in 1979. How many people heard this analogy? People are saying now and comparing Zohrani Mamdani to the Ayatollah in Iran. Let's read this, and then I'll cue up the video. How we looking? Okay. So we freezing every now and then, you guys. Just make a joke about it. Anybody want to make a meme or any player haters, this is a good day to do some player hating. It's storming in California. God opened up the sky didn't crack. Hey man, what's this hope? I didn't even see your super chat, man. I was on the other side. I had body dysmorphia. Then I took Man versus Hulk, said I had body dysmorphia. Then I took mushrooms. All of a sudden, I didn't care that I was not walking the Las Vegas Strip. I was not walking the That's dope, brother. That's dope. That's dope. And remember earlier, thank you for the super chat too, brother. And I got a super chat earlier today and a super chat yesterday. Man versus Hulk, I don't know if you know, but we're doing a multi-aspect stream where you can watch me on the laptop or the TV now. So I'm not just on the cell phone, I'm on the laptop and the TV now. And I don't know what happened. I got the multi-aspect streaming because I want to do some clips, but it's keeps freezing. It keeps freezing on me, man. And just staying prayed up and positive, because I can get a little negative when the technical day. But what I said to my wife the other day, a lot of times all of my equipment works really well. Most times my equipment works really well. So when I have technical difficulties, it's not fair for me to whine, because most times, if you look at my channel, if you look at our live streams, most of the times we don't have these technical difficulties. It's a storm today. Let's say it's the storm. I don't know. Let's say it's the storm. I did change my StreamYard, and I upped my service, and I'm paying more money for StreamYard now so I could do the multi-aspect ratio. And it's the oddest thing. Ever since I paid more money for my StreamYard, I'm dealing with these freezing and glitches. It reminds me last time I had StreamYard, but when I did not pay, think about this. When I didn't pay, I didn't have these glitches. So StreamYard need to fix it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel my account and go back to the free. The thing about going back to the free version of StreamYard is then you got the StreamYard logo and all this stuff in the video, right? But I didn't have these technical difficulties when I was using the free. Ain't that something? When I was using the free, I didn't have these technical difficulties. But now I done paid the little money for StreamYard, and I'm multi-streaming. Then it's giving me this aspect, this bullshit right here. And it is no justification for why it's freezing. And what's worse is that the audience, StreamYard, when I have these StreamYard technical difficulties, it opens me up. This is what I was saying. I was in a debate last night. This is what I was saying about Iran when they attacked Israel. Like whenever I have these technical difficulties in StreamYard and you know the trolls, whatever they do to fuck with me, it opens up for attack, right? Whenever it's not working perfectly, then people try to hurt you. And this is just the rules in life. This is what you teach your kids, right? When you think you got a broken leg, when you think, you know, people should give you a pass, that's when the bully, that's when the person shows up. That's when they want to fight, when you have a broken leg. Like every day I don't have a broken leg. Now you want to say something to me when my leg is broken and I can't be at 100%. Yeah, that's how cowards are. That's how cowards are. That's how the coward works, right? So today I've been experiencing a lot of cowardism, a lot of cowards out here. But that's like the internet. The internet is full of cowards. You have people like me. It's take a lot of bravery to get on stage, right? Be well groomed, you know, shave up, look good, get the studio, the microphone, spend all this money and time invested in speaking in front of people. It take a lot, right? And then cowards who would never, who don't cut their hair, who don't wash their ass, who don't own a $150 polo sweater, who don't own $1,000 microphone, $1,000 mixer, you know what I'm saying, $1,000 studio. They get in the chat and they cowardly attack because they could never do what I do. So got a lot of cowards today. Got a lot of cowards today. A lot of cowards today. A lot of cowardly. And it reminds me of the Nick Shirley video. How cowardly was that? A 20-year-old asks you a question and you lie to the camera and say, I don't know who Nick Shirley is. I don't know what the Nick Shirley Act is, even though you're the co-author. Even though you're the co-author, you don't know what the Nick Shirley Act is. How cowardice is that? So Iranians warn that Zohran Mamdani sounds eerily familiar to Ayatollah before he seized power in Iran in 1979. Did you guys hear about this? We're going to get into it. Mamdani has promised the world to New York voters. He said he'll freeze rent, provide free health care, free buses, and affordable city-run grocery stores, to name a few things. Sounds like socialism to me. In 1979, Ayatollah Khomeini made all these same kinds of promises. You guys know I've been breaking this down. The next time you hear me break it down, my philosophy is going to be on the members-only live stream. We got a goal up right now. How many super chats? The goal ended. Let's start another goal because we got a couple super chats. Let's get a gift goal. Start the gifts. Man, thank you guys, man. Keep the super chats coming. Keep the super chats. Man versus Hawk, Eric Jordan. Man versus Hawk and Eric Jordan sent the super chat. Y'all go ahead and keep sending them super chats, man. And like, share, and subscribe, and join the channel. We're going into Zohran Mamdani, the socialist Muslim who's the mayor of New York, and Iranians. This is not MAGA, black MAGA, blue MAGA. Y'all know we got blue MAGA too. You got black MAGA, blue MAGA. These are the blue MAGA is the Democrats who's coming back home. You know what I'm saying? Double tap, hit the like button. But this is Iranian Americans calling out that Zohran Mamdani is making a lot of the same promises, and it sounds a lot like Ayatollah Khomeini. I said the other day, and I said in the debate, Ayatollah Khomeini was a political, he was elected. The IRGC and the morality police came later. So in 1979, Ayatollah Khomeini made all these same kinds of promises, hid his radical Islamic takeover of Iran under the guise of Marxist utopia, overflowing with free government benefits for all. It was so well documented. Froze again. This is what we doing on StreamYard. Guess I don't know, y'all. It was a good idea, man. I was excited for a second, man. But I rethought about it. I was excited for a second. I was gonna do multi-aspect streaming, and then I'll be able to do clips. But I don't think the clips are gonna work. I'm gonna just go back to the way I used to stream. I'm gonna just go back to the way I used to stream because This is crazy. There's no need for me to be freezing like this. There's nothing. I'm like completely frozen. I'm like completely frozen. Everybody watching who's wondering, this is StreamYard. If you was thinking about using StreamYard, make your decision based off of this. But this is a great commercial. This is like StreamYard is like the Democrats. If anybody wanted a commercial for StreamYard, here's you go. This is the way StreamYard treats its paying customers. This is what you get with a paid StreamYard account. Completely frozen. Completely frozen. Completely frozen. I'm completely frozen. What y'all think? And I submitted it. I am frozen. Sucks, bro. Sucks, bro. I just submitted a report. Let's see what happens. But let's go to the video. Let's go to the video.
Iranians today are warning that the current mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani's language, his rhetoric, the things that he says and how he phrases them sounds to them very eerily familiar to exactly how the Ayatollah spoke before he seized power in Iran in 1979. I'd like to watch this portion of the special because it is quite mind-blowing.
You'll find Iranian people on social media telling us over and over and over again that the way Mamdani speaks in New York City is exactly the way the Ayatollah was speaking in Iran, word for word, verbatim.
So this is the promises Khomeini made back in 1979, pre-1979. Look at this. He has promised free water, free electricity, and free buses. Now, does that sound familiar? Have you heard it before? Like say, I don't know, New York 2024 campaign?
Language, framing. It's one of the key ways Islamists gain popularity and power within elected political positions here in America.
It is so well documented. The Islam cannot come to colleges and say, we're going to make everybody dress like this. You're going to follow the dress codes or we'll kill you. We're going to marry young girls off at 9 years old. They can't sell that. What they can sell is Marxism. And so they soften the language and say, oh, this other stuff is crazy. They soften the language. But in the meantime, their goal is for a global caliphate. And in the documentary, we show their number one target is America. In fact, they say, if we gain the whole world, but we lose America, we have failed. They must have America. We are the great Satan. Israel's a little Satan. We're the great Satan. They must have America. And they are so far down this road.
Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with this report. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with this report. We're going to watch it again. These are Iranians, and there's a documentary that they have created. Iranians created a documentary, and they are saying that Zohran Mamdani, his political promises resembled the Ayatollah Khomeini when he was elected in 1979.
Iranians today are warning that the current mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani's language, his rhetoric, the things that he says and how he phrases them sounds to them very eerily familiar to exactly how the Ayatollah spoke before he seized power in Iran in 1979. I'd like to watch this portion of the special because it is quite mind-blowing.
You'll find Iranian people on social media telling us over and over and over again that the way Mamdani speaks in New York City is exactly the way the Ayatollah was speaking in Iran, word for word, verbatim.
So this is the promises Khomeini made back in 1979, pre-1979. Look at this. He has promised free water, free electricity, and free buses. Now, does that sound familiar? Have you heard it before? Like say, I don't know, New York 2024 campaign?
Language, framing. It's one of the key ways Islamists gain popularity and power within elected political positions here in America.
It is so well documented. The Islam cannot come to colleges and say, we're going to make everybody dress like this. You're going to follow the dress codes or we'll kill you. We're going to marry young girls off at 9 years old. They can't sell that. What they can sell is Marxism. And so they soften the language and say, oh, this other stuff is crazy. They soften the language. But in the meantime, their goal is for a global caliphate. And in the documentary, we show their number one target is America. In fact, they say, if we gain the whole world, but we lose America, we have failed. They must have America. We are the great Satan. Israel's a little Satan. We're the great Satan. They must have America. And they are so far down this road.
Facts. Facts. Double tap, hit the like button. I called out Zohrani Mamdani the Morani from the beginning, bro. I called it out from the beginning, bro. And then yesterday when he did
Iranians today,
that he still hasn't been able to come through with the promises. So he made these promises. Here's another one: Khomeini in Paris, 1978. Mamdani in New York City in 2026. Why did he need to do this? Remember, I said this is what he did in New York in 2026, and he had a police officer, a female, wearing a hijab, and it's supposed to be a separation from church and state. You can't make this stuff up. Iran, 1979, Ayatollah Khomeini sitting down, talking to leaders in a Muslim style. This is the way he chooses to talk to the leaders in New York. He makes everybody sit down on Muslim rugs, just like Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran. What are we living under? Are we living under a caliphate now? Are we living under a caliphate now?
My name is Nepo and Good day, America. You ain't fucking free. My name is Nepo and Makwa from the Menominee Indian Reservation.
Oh, man. You look white, bro. You look right. Let me see if I had another video. Yeah, man. This was going on. I had another video talking about the similar Zohran. But what y'all think about Mamdani and his socialist? So that was not there. We can go to the next. We can go to the next. How we looking? Is we freezing? Is we frozen? We've been freezing and freezing and freezing and freezing and freezing. NYC Mayor Zohran Mamdani is walking around the city, knocking on random people's doors to inspect their homes and make sure they're up to code. Does he really need an entire camera crew with him? We found 6 different violations in this inspection, and we will hold the landlords accountable. A mayor showing up unannounced at private residence with cameras rolling to inspect inside people's homes just feels off. This is the Democrat. This is a Democrat. This is a Democrat. They always say Trump, no kings, right? Trump, no kings, right? Well, this is Mamdani only been in office 100 days. He already shut down New York. You remember the whole debacle with paying the people for shoveling snow. I showed a video, people saying they just gonna take the shovel and throw it in the snow. Now you have Democrat, socialist mayor who's on the ground on Muslim rugs. They had IEDs thrown in front of his house, and he is showing up to your house just like the Gestapo. This is what you get when you elect a Democrat. You can say no kings all you want. You can say no kings all you want. Zohrani Mamdani is raising property taxes where you can't live in New York. Zohrani Mamdani shut down New York. Zohrani Mamdani has not come through on any other promises. And now the Democratic mayor is showing up at your house in America where you have a free right to be having privacy, right? This is your private America. The Democratic mayor is showing up to your private residence, banging on the door, and wants to come in and measure and inspect. And then he said he's going to report it to the landlord, like the landlord not going to evict you and kick you out. Well, I wish I was making this up, but this is the reality of the Democratic Party.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Mayor Mamdani, we're here to inspect the home and to make sure everything's up to code.
You're in charge now.
All right, ready? Tell me where to go.
Do you see this? How you doing? Well, it's Mayor Mamdani. We're here to inspect the house to make sure everything up to code. You don't make an appointment. That, like, how would you feel, Mayor Mamdani, if someone showed up to your house with your children and you there and they didn't make an appointment and your wife was not prepared? She may not have the house appropriate. She may be feeding the children. She may be bathing the children. You didn't make an appointment to see if anybody was ready. Does this sound American or Democratic to anyone watching? How American or Democratic does it sound to have your Democratic God show up unannounced without an appointment and want entry to your home? That don't sound very American and Democratic to me, ladies and gentlemen. Double tap at the like button and put a 1 in the chat if you agree with this.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Mayor Mamdani, we're here to inspect the home and to make sure everything's up to code.
You're in charge now.
All right, ready? Tell me where to go.
You want to check the window guard?
Okay. 11 is a negative.
That's $20. It's broken. This is not supposed to be.
There's a lot of New Yorkers who live with a worry about whether or not the conditions they're living in are actually up to code. It's, I mean, as you can see, it's the city's job to deliver on that.
That's very important.
Yeah. This specific code, we're looking at the importance of it is for kids.
Yeah.
You know, children under the age of 6. But the good thing is as we were coming in, it was an opportunity to look at the whole building.
Right.
You know, is the fire escape as it should be?
We want to address egress and that the fire escape.
Yeah.
There's some flower pots there in the corner. So technically, there's not supposed to be anything on the fire escape. So
Okay.
that would be a violation.
Yeah, is all the information posted as you walk in?
Right.
But there's no.
So no flower pots.
So this is incorrect.
You identified as.
So no flower pots. So how does that help? How does that help the tenants who need oxygen, who live in the concrete jungle? There are no trees. There are no flowers. So there's flower pots. Maybe they were temporarily on the fire stoop. This is your Democratic liberal mayor who's supposed to be on your side. Think about this. This is your Democratic liberal God champion who you love saying that you can't have plants on your balcony when you live in a concrete jungle and this might be your only source of oxygen. Right? A lot of people in projects and apartments have a lot of plants because you need the green. We're humans. We need the green. We need the oxygen. And now they saying you can't have that. He's guising this in a disguise like, hey, I'm going to help you. I'm going to report this to the landlord. Your life is going to be better. How's my life better if you're going to get me in trouble by saying I have plants on my fire escape? Double tap at the like button. Y'all see this shit? This don't seem very Democratic. I want to know, New York, is this what the fuck you voted for, bro? Can we be honest, New York? Because this is what you're getting.
I think breaking the plaster.
Yeah.
This guy's top tier. Top tier. I kept walking too fast. He was like, you gotta look for this. You gotta look for this. 22 years.
This case.
How many violations did you see today?
Well, all the window spring balances that have to be replaced.
Those were 2, right?
Those were 1, 2, 3.
3?
Do you think that might result in a rent increase? You know, a lot of people say tariffs are a tax. I debunk that, right? I debunk tariffs are a tax and how I debunk that companies cannot pass on tariff costs because the market sets the price, right? I debunk that. So what do you think will happen if the landlord has to make all these adjustments? Wouldn't you think he would just turn it into a luxury apartment and raise the rent and this person could no longer afford to live there?
Those were 3. The AC.
4.
Okay. We're also going to hit them with the window guard violation, and then we have here the one violation for the local law 86.
Which is the incomplete information on the side?
No, that's another one.
That's another one.
That's a different one. So that's 2.
Another one.
Yes, so that's 2.
Okay. It was a pleasure to be here at this building with a number of inspectors from HPD to ensure that these conditions are up to code. And what these inspectors showed me and showed tenants across this building is the inspections for heat violations, for paint peeling violations, for even just the information that is plastered as you come into the building. Over the course of this inspection, they found about 6 different violations that they will now issue directly to the landlord. Now, for any New Yorker who calls this city home, know that when you see those kinds of violations or you feel them, call 311, report them. HPD will come out and inspect them, and if they are indeed violations of housing code, we will hold landlords accountable.
Let's follow. You know, I was in a debate yesterday. Let's follow. This is the same thing with defund the police. Let's follow. This is an incomplete thought. Does everybody understand what I'm arguing? This is an incomplete thought. When he says, let's file a complaint, the landlord will be forced, not only that, the landlord will be fined, they will have to recoup that money. The landlord now will be forced to upgrade the apartment. That means the landlord can justify a higher rent. It's not the same as a tariff being passed on. If you make me make these upgrades to this apartment, that means I can legally charge more money. The current tenant who lives in the apartment at this rate, I'm going to have to put them out and find a tenant to pay more rent. So how is this helping the current tenants who voted for you? Does everybody understand my logic? Because they are not, he's not presenting to you a complete thought. I have property. I have tenants. I know how this works. You can be charged a certain level of, because based on the quality of the domicile. If you report me to the city and the city requires me to make $20,000 worth of repairs, then this is now a luxury apartment. I'm going to evict you, which is my legal right, and I'm going to charge more money to recoup the money of the repairs, because this is now a luxury apartment. Let's finish the thought, Marani.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Just to lay a foundation, you're watching New York City mayor go door to door unannounced without an appointment to inspect apartments in New York. I'm gonna repeat that. Brand new. He's only been mayor for 100 days. He just did a CNN interview, and I typically, you know how many cities there are in America? Let's ask Google, right? How many cities in America, just to put in perspectives, that they did a 100-day interview with a mayor. There's approximately 19,449 cities in America. So 20,000 cities, but for some reason, CNN did a first 100 days interview with the mayor of New York, but we have 20,000 mayors. You guys understand what I'm arguing? We have 20,000 mayors, but for some reason, CNN and the legacy media who have championed this socialist Islamic terrorist who happens to be mayor of New York, he gets an interview after the first 100 days when we have 20,000 mayors. Now, I just want to lay a foundation as to what you're watching. You're watching Zohrani Mamdani, mayor of New York, go door to door and then ask people unannounced, can he come in?
All right.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Mayor Mamdani, we're here to inspect the home and to make sure everything's up to code.
You're charged now.
All right, ready? Tell me where to go.
You want to check the window guard?
Okay. 11 is a negative.
That's $20. It's broken. This is not supposed to be.
There's a lot of New Yorkers who live with a worry about whether or not the conditions they're living in are actually up to code. It's, I mean, as you can see, it's the city's job to deliver on that.
That's very important.
Yeah. This specific code, we're looking at the importance of it is for kids.
Yeah.
You know, children under the age of 6. But the good.
So he promised free rent and fast buses. And if you're just new here, if you're new here, what I reported earlier is how he's being compared by Americans, Iranians to the Ayatollah Khomeini in this political promises that he made, right? He's being compared to Ayatollah Khomeini in the political promises that he made. That's why we're showing this video, because Iranians are trying to warn Americans about what you're actually seeing, right? That's why I'm playing the video, because I think it's I've never seen a mayor do this. I just brought up there's 20,000 mayors in the country. I've never seen the mayor do this, and this is supposed to be your Democratic liberal champion. He's showing up to your house unannounced. I said, would he be okay with this? Everybody in the chat, do you think this wealthy mayor, millionaire, his wife and kid, who happens to be Islam, he's a strict Muslim, you know, they have these things, you can't wear shoes, haram and all this stuff. Do you think if you showed up at a devout Muslim's house unannounced, do you think they would let you in? What a day we're having today, right? Today is filled. Oh man, what a day we having today, y'all. Stick with us, man. Stick with us, man.
Is exactly like the pseudo-intellectual socialists, leftists who helped sell Ayatollah Khomeini to the Iranian people from 1977 to 1979. You had people like Ibrahim Yazdi, Sadiq Qutbzadeh, Mehdi Bazargan, Abul Hassan Bani Sadr, who seemed like perfectly reasonable Western socialist intellectuals, and who packaged Khomeini and the Ayatollahs as if they were some kind of Gandhi-like anti-colonial liberation, you know, that had come to free Iran from the supposedly oppressive regime of the Shah, right? Even an intellect on the level of Michel Foucault gobbled this shit up and promoted it in Western newspapers, right? So Mamdani is that. Mm-hmm. And New York is now starting to go through what London went through 20 years ago. And, you know, 10, 15 years from now, we're going to have Sharia zones in, you know, Brooklyn and Queens and the Bronx.
I said that. I said that. Why would a police officer, and this is not far-fetched, why would a police officer be teaching women in New York how to wear a hijab? Why would a police officer need, do you guys remember the video? I'm gonna bring it up. Do you guys remember the video? I said, what is the relevance of a police officer? You're not even supposed to be wearing that because we have a separation of church and state in America. Why would a female police officer should not be wearing a hijab? You need to be making sure you can see, have good peripheral vision. A hijab could block your peripheral vision, though, especially the way they wear it, covering up their ears and their eyes. That's not a good thing to do for police. Police show how to wear. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be your primary function. It's supposed to be protecting the citizen. Your primary function is supposed to be protecting the citizen, right? That's supposed to be your primary function, is protecting the citizen. It's a separation of church and state in America. Why? This is when Zohrani Mamdani gets elected. This is what you start having in New York. Everybody with me? Because I just want to show that it's not far-fetched. When he says we're going to have Sharia zones, we're going to have Sharia zones in New York, I am saying to you there is a separation of church and state. No police officer should be wearing any religious garb while at work and in uniform. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. No officer should be at work wearing religious garb, let alone a hijab that would block her peripheral. This is on women. Only women have to wear these. If you a police officer, number one, look at the contradiction. Look at the irony. In Iran, you couldn't be a police officer. In Iran, you couldn't have a gun. In Iran, you couldn't be a leader. It would be haram. You as a woman is supposed to be at home. So you want to look how you want to split the cow, right? So you want to be a police officer, have a gun, be in a manly role, a manly leadership role, which is anti to the version of Islam you believe and practice. But while you are practicing haram, while you are wearing a gun, acting like a man, talking shit to other men, which is not part of your version of Islam, you want to wear a hijab. It's complete bullshit. Why are you wearing that on your head as a police officer? You understand what I'm saying? Because you being a police officer in itself is haram, is against your version. If you are the type of Muslim woman who thinks it's important enough to wear a hijab at work, then you should not be a fucking police officer. Do you understand my logic? If you are the type of Muslim woman that believes the hijab is so important that you would wear it while at work as a police officer, you should be a fucking police officer. Because the type of Muslim woman you're talking about would never wear a gun, would never be in that type of role. And you are not allowed to be in that role in Iran under Sharia law, under Shia, under the version of the IRGC Ayatollah Khomeini. It's a fucking contradiction. How the fuck can you put on a hijab while walking around with the loaded dick on your hip? You guys don't understand enough about Islam to understand why I'm upset.
These are little examples. You want to know how it is? So ideally, you just, because there's different ways, by the way. You fit it how you want to.
Remember what I said about peripheral vision and the bitch got glasses. Does the bitch understand what her job is? This is right. Even now, the guy said we got to worry about Sharia law. I think we should be worried now. I think we should be worried now because how can this person protect you from a criminal? She has fucking glasses and she has a fucking sheet on her head that's prohibiting her peripheral vision. She could get shot or get socked in the side and not even see it coming. This is just fucking idiotic, bro. This is just fucking idiotic, bro. She can't fucking see. She has a gun. Someone can steal her gun. I can keep going on how idiotic this is. Separation of church and state. You have a gun on your fucking hip. You can't see peripheral.
But you can take one side short, one side long, right? And then you put it over.
Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? So women can't be police in Iran, but we have bitches in America who are police. Look at all this shit on her chest, who wear this shit where they can't even be cops. Why are you a cop when you got all this shit on that's prohibiting you from being a good fucking cop? Ladies and gentlemen, help me out in the chat. Help me out. Now, why am I showing this video? Why am I showing this video? I'm showing this video because in this video, the brother said, you are going to be dealing with Sharia zones. And you might hear this and say, oh, here goes MAGA with their bullshit. Here goes MAGA with their bullshit, right? MAGA is being hyperbolic. We won't have Sharia zones in America. Zohrani Mamdani is not like Ayatollah Khomeini 2.0. So as I play this video, I thought to myself, fuck that. Fuck that. We got this shit right now. I don't have to like make a prediction. As he says, we will have Sharia zones in America. I wanted to show you the fucking idiocracy that we actually really have right now. Listen, let's listen again.
The way, they have it in suburbs of London. Quick question. I think there are already enough Muslims here and leftist sympathizers, the Green Red Alliance, right? Leftist sympathizers who, to the extent that Mamdani cripples the police department, which is something that he's doing already, will be emboldened, and we're going to start to see the ghettoization of New York City. And then in terms of federal immigration policy, I wouldn't count on the fact that the policies of the Trump administration will necessarily endure. Mamdani is exactly like the pseudo-intellectual socialists, leftists who helped sell Ayatollah Khomeini to the Iranian people from 1977 to 1979. You had people like Ibrahim Yazdi, Sadiq Qutbzadeh, Mehdi Bazargan, Abul Hassan Bani Sadr, who seemed like perfectly reasonable Western socialist intellectuals, and who packaged Khomeini and the Ayatollahs as if they were some kind of Gandhi-like anti-colonial liberation, that had come to free Iran from the supposedly oppressive regime of the Shah, right? Even an intellect on the level of Michel Foucault gobbled this shit up and promoted it in Western newspapers, right? So Mamdani is that.
Mm-hmm.
And New York is now starting to go through what London went through 20 years ago. And, 10, 15 years from now, we're going to have Sharia zones in Brooklyn and Queens and the Bronx.
So when I heard that we're going to have Sharia zones in Brooklyn and Queens and the Bronx, I thought about this video. A high-ranking police officer in New York under Zohran Mamdani showing women how to wear her hijab properly. Why would police, unless you're going to enforce it, which is what he just said, Sharia zones, why would a police officer care if a woman wore this correctly? When we know Marsha Armeni was beat to death in the back of a police van for not wearing her hijab correctly. So why would a police officer, after the Iranian IRGC, the morality police, unalive a woman for incorrectly wearing her hijab, why would New York police put on this? It's almost a precursor in saying to you what's coming. If you don't wear this correctly, you may be beat to death like the woman in Iran. This is terrifying. Why would police? I mean, you could do this in a library, you could do this in a school, right? You could do this on social media. Why would police be the ones teaching how to wear a hijab correctly if they were not going to enforce it? Imagine this bitch with a gun on her hip and she approaches your daughter or your wife and they're incorrectly wearing the hijab. Is she going to be nice? And this is a real question. I said, imagine this bitch, separation of church and state. Imagine this bitch approaching your wife or your daughter and she's trying to correct them on how to wear their hijab. Do you think she's going to be nice? Let's watch the video. Why would a police officer need to do this?
Wear on your face. And some ladies get creative. You can put a pin. I freestyle everything I do, as you can see. And then I just tuck it in right here. And you wrap it around to your quarters and make sure your bosom is covered. There's different ways. This is the most simple way that you can wear it.
And here it is, other police officers with this shit on their head, having other women put this shit on. Do we have Sharia zones now? Do we have Sharia zones now? See, what happens is there's no law made. What happened in Europe is that people like what happened with Marsha Armeni, she was Kurdish. She wasn't wearing the hijab because she was Muslim. She was wearing the hijab for safety. She knew if she went out in public in certain areas, in order to be safe as a woman, even though she wasn't Muslim, she needed to be dressed a certain way so that people wouldn't fuck with her. So it's not like a law is ever created. But if you have so many immigrants, and then you have a mayor like Mamdani, then what you have happen is you have people who still live in a certain community that happen to be like 80% Muslim. And they end up wearing the hijab. A black woman like this may learn how to wear one just so she can go to the bus stop, just so she can go to the store without being harassed. It's not that she's Muslim, but she lives in a Muslim neighborhood in New York where the Islamic people there are extremists. And people in America don't realize that we have Muslim neighborhoods in New York full of extremist Muslims. And if you black or you non-Muslim and you live in that neighborhood, it's just easier for you to wear an hijab. No one's going to make you. There's no law. It's just easier for you. Somebody said in the chat, Lisa said, American women are supposed to wear them. Do you see her just put this on a black Negro woman? There's no more American than that. Look at this shit, and she's smiling. That's a great question, Lisa. Who was supposed to wear them? Why would you give this instruction? Muslim women already, Lisa, that was a great question, Lisa. Lisa, that was a great fucking question, because Muslim women are already wearing them and they already know how to wear them. That was a great fucking question. So who is supposed to, Lisa, who is supposed to? Great question, because she's already wearing one.
So ideally, you just, because there's different ways, by the way. You fit it how you want to. But
Now, I also said, Lisa, that this is a police officer who's supposed to protect citizens. This fucking hijab is blocking her peripheral vision.
you can take one side short, one side long, right? And then you put it over and over around your face. And some days you get creative, you can put a pin. I piece out everything I do, as you can see. And then I just tuck it in right here. And you wrap it around your corners. Make sure your bosom is covered. There's different ways. This is the most simple way that you can wear it.
And here they are putting the hijab on a non-Muslim black woman. Because Lisa said, well, who gonna wear it? Here they are putting a hijab on a non-Muslim black woman. And the reason I show this video is because I showed this video. We're talking about Zahrani Mamdani, an Iranian, saying he is very similar to the Ayatollah Khomeini in his promises and his political practices. And we just showed a video of Zahrani Mamdani showing up unannounced at people's homes. And I said, well, how would a Muslim family feel with the way they strictly run their houses if the leader showed up unannounced without an appointment? And I got my wife and my kids feeding here. Double tap at the like button. He said we're going to have Sharia zones in New York. I argue what we see is the beginning of a Sharia zone. I argue what we see here is it is no longer fictitious or chance. I argue that what we are seeing here is the beginning of Sharia zones in Brooklyn and in New York. Double tap, hit the like button.
The way, they have it in suburbs of London. Quick question. I think there are already enough Muslims here and leftist sympathizers, the Green Red Alliance, right? Leftist sympathizers who, to the extent that Mamdani cripples the police department, which is something that he's doing already, will be emboldened, and we're going to start to see the ghettoization of New York City. And then in terms of federal immigration policy, I wouldn't count on the fact that the policies of the Trump administration will necessarily endure. Mamdani is exactly like the pseudo-intellectual socialists, leftists who helped sell Ayatollah Khomeini to the Iranian people from.
And I remember CNN admits that the Democrats have been taken over by the socialist left. I remember CNN admitting that the Dems have been taken over by the socialist left. Because people think, I remember in Minnesota where I showed you, those were not rallies, those were not protests, those were rallies. And I showed you people walking around with clipboards trying to recruit young Americans into the Socialist Party, not the Democratic Party. I said during the Minnesota rallies, not protests, I saw young white purple-haired protesters with clipboards attempting to get young people to join the Socialist Party, not the Democratic Party. Right? That's I said these are not protests, these are rallies. These are not, these are rallies, and they're trying to recruit people into the socialist democratic left. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. And I can prove it. Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape. Double tap, hit the like button as you come in. Thank you, and I love you for everybody being here watching us today.
A larger point within results from that special election, that Democratic primary in the 11th district in New Jersey, speak to a larger point within the Democratic Party, and that is that the far left is significantly more powerful than they once were. This sort of gives the game away here. Democrats who identify as very liberal or conservative. You know, there used to be a lot of conservative Democrats, right? Back in 1999, 26% of Democrats self-identified as conservative. Just 5% said that they were very liberal. It was a smidgen, a smidgen, a smidgen. Now that far left has gained considerably in power. Look at this. Now we're talking about a fifth of Democrats, 21% say they're very liberal. That conservative part of the Democratic Party, adios amigos, goodbye, just 8%. And when you combine the 21% who are very liberal with those who say that they're somewhat liberal, we're talking about 3 in 5 Democrats who identify as either somewhat liberal or very liberal, with the very liberals, but much larger portion of the party. The far left, which used to just be a smidgen within the Democratic Party, has gained considerable.
Socialist left. It's the socialist left. It's the socialist left. Straight up. Straight up. So this is not fictitious when we talk about Zohrani Mamdani. This is reality. We living in it right now.
Capitalist, I'm not a democratic socialist. And I don't think that Mamdani, despite the fact that he's very smart, he's very charismatic, he's great at social media, I don't think he'd be good for the city.
Starting us off tonight is a Democratic member of Congress here on Capitol Hill from a district just outside of New York City who has endorsed Andrew Cuomo in this race, Congressman Tom Suozzi. Thank you for being here, sir. I wonder, do you think that President Trump's endorsement of Andrew Cuomo will help or hurt him, in your view?
You know, it could go either way. You know, you really never know what Donald Trump is thinking. I'm sure he's got friends of his from New York that are saying, hey, you know, this guy Mamdani will be terrible for New York. Don't let this guy win. And then you have his political consultants calling him up and saying, we really hope Mamdani wins because we can hang that around the Democrats' neck all over the country. So who knows what the president's really thinking? Is he trying to help? Is he trying to hurt the campaign? Will it help? Will it hurt? We need Cuomo to win to get votes from the people that would otherwise vote for Curtis Sliwa. So maybe this is a message to some of those independent and Republican voters to say, don't waste your vote on Mamdani and give it to Cuomo.
Yeah, the president took a shot at Curtis Sliwa in that post. So here's
who's in charge of California?
The Democrats.
It's the Democrats. You have Democrats in charge, and rather than looking at their own budget and saying perhaps we're doing things a little lopsided, perhaps we're not spending money in a frugal enough way for our state. They don't do that at all first. They never do that. They never look inward. And the same in Washington State, where I'm from, we just also introduced a millionaire tax that's going after millionaires instead of billionaires. And what we've seen after them going after the capital gains tax, implementing it, a lot of them left, including Jeff Bezos and a lot of high-profile folks who decided to leave. You can go ahead and pretend that the folks who are billionaires merely because they got handed something to them by the Democratic establishment or the Republicans. But at the end of the day, you're not actually doing anything to help people who are in a position right now who are in fact struggling. All you're doing is punishing someone for being successful.
No, I'm sorry. The governments redistribute resources. That's what we do. And we make these choices.
And the billionaires pay a huge portion already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. It's
What
called
do they
property taxes. It's called sales taxes. You would certainly concede that billionaires spend more in sales tax, right?
Why can
than
my
me or you.
generation not afford to own a home? And that's in part because
their job
all
to
of
buy it for
property
you?
ownership. No, it's not our job. It's about it's about
Is it the
returning.
government's job to buy for you?
No, it's not the government's job to buy people homes.
Then
but
why does
I
the
think
government
people
need
would-
their money?
Okay, because do you agree that the government's job is to redistribute wealth,
No.
and they
No.
but they already do that. They just
Strongly
make
disagree.
choices.
Who's in charge in California?
So here's
Who's in charge in California?
The Democrats.
It's the Democrats. You have Democrats in charge, and rather than looking at their own budget and saying, perhaps we're doing things a little lopsided, perhaps we're not spending money in a frugal enough way for our state. They don't do that at all first. They never do that. They never look inward. And the same in Washington State, where I'm from, we just also introduced a millionaire tax that's going after millionaires instead of billionaires. And what we've seen after them going after the capital gains tax, implementing it, a lot of them left, including Jeff Bezos and a lot of high-profile folks who decided to leave. You can go ahead and pretend that the folks who are billionaires merely because they got handed something to them by the Democratic establishment or the Republicans. But at the end of the day, you're not actually doing anything to help people who are in a position right now who are in fact struggling. All you're doing is punishing someone for being successful.
No, I'm sorry. Well, the governments redistribute resources. That's what we do, and we make these.
Of doing so, personal income tax, corporate tax. Those were the two ways that I thought we could achieve it in the most straightforward manner. Part of that is a reflection of the
Those socialist policies we talked about.
And yet, is the pied-à-terre tax an acknowledgement that you can't get a broader tax on the wealthy here in New York, which is
This did you guys pay attention? Pay attention. Look at this face. Listen to the lies and the promises.
And yet, is the pied-à-terre tax an acknowledgement that you can't get a broader tax on the wealthy here in New York, which is what you promised? And
What's the pied-à-terre tax? Double tap at the like button. Now we're at your apartment. We're at your apartment. Now we're gonna tax you. You guys won't be able to live in New York. Double tap at the like button, but you voted for
and
it.
yet, is the pied-à-terre tax an acknowledgement that you can't get a broader tax on the wealthy here in New York, which is what you promised and how you said you would pay for all of these programs?
I always said that I believed in the importance of taxing the rich. This is taxing the rich. And I said that the two ways that I thought were the most straightforward of doing so, personal income tax, corporate tax, those were the two ways that I thought we could achieve it in the most straightforward manner. Part of that is a reflection of the fact that a pied-à-terre tax has been something that has long been fought for in the city, but hasn't been possible to get over the finish line. It's been really exciting to work with the governor to win something that many thought would never have a chance.
And yet, is the pied-à-terre
So they're celebrating the tax. This is what you vote. They're celebrating the tax. They're celebrating taxing you out of your existence. Man, you can't make this shit up. They are celebrating taxing you out of your existence. How y'all like that? They are celebrating taxing you out of your existence, man. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Zarani Mundani, the Morani. This is what you voted for. You got what you voted for. Unbelievable. They are celebrating taxing you out of existence. Get the likes up, you guys. Get the likes up. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Double tap, hit the like button. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. We got one more. I got something else. Let's go into there's a straight disruptions could lead to global rationing. There's warning that the Straits disruptions can lead to global rationing. On April 20th, ECB President Lagarde told Association of German Banks that prolonged closures of the Strait of Hormuz vital for 1/3 of global seaborne fertilizer trade would shift from inflation to rationing, severely hitting economic growth. The strait has been largely shut since late February amid U.S.-Iran conflict, with recent closures tied to ceasefire violations and U.S. vessel seizures, causing jet fuel prices to double and prompting airport rationing. Europe braces for catastrophic as the ceasefire nears expiry. I said we gonna bomb. Trump said we gonna bomb. With oil losses at 13% of global consumption, and leaders like Faith Borrow calling it historical biggest energy crisis. Double tap, hit the like button. Let's get more of this energy crisis that's going on right now. Thank you, StreamYard, for freezing me up.
Yeah, the United States is allowing any vessels who are passing through this area
Hey, Trey, could you give me an idea? Are we letting ships through? Because we've seen different reports. First, nobody's getting through. Then we boarded a ship that tried to get through. Do you have any reporting that talks about what's really happening in the Strait?
Yeah, the United States is allowing any vessels who are passing through this area to make their way to their final destination as long as they're not coming from Iranian ports. There were some reports overnight indicating that 26 vessels from Iran's shadow fleet were able to make it past the U.S. blockade. There is no evidence of that. And despite what one Democratic senator talked about, there is a concerted effort by the United States to ensure that any vessels that are coming from Iranian ports are turned around or seized, as we saw with that one cargo ship over the weekend.
So, Trey, that was just Iranian propaganda, right?
Yes, absolutely. And the shadow fleet that the senator is talking about is used to directly fund Iranian proxies across the Middle East, including Hamas, the Houthis, and Hezbollah, who are directly responsible for killing U.S. citizens. And so the shadow fleet is a very serious problem. It is not getting past the U.S. blockade, according to all reports and information that we have from the region. But it is a very serious issue that the U.S. Navy says they will crack down on, not just in the Persian Gulf, but also around the world, including in the Indo-Pacific.
Crack down on the shadow fleet. Just more updates about the Straits of Hormuz being closed, and the timeline expires tonight
Hey, Trey,
on whether or
could you give me an
not
idea?
the
Are we letting
ceasefire will
ships
expire,
through? Because we
or will
Iran and
Trump
Pakistan, the U.S. is expanding its target list, interdicting an oil tanker from Iran's shadow fleet in the Pacific. On April 6th, the TIFANI loaded 1.9 million barrels of Iranian crude oil from Karg Island and was trying to transport that oil to China before interdiction. The Treasury Department sanctioned the crude oil tanker last July. The State Department said twice in recent months the vessel had loaded Iranian oil in ship-to-ship transfers with U.S.-sanctioned Iranian-flagged tankers while conducting, quote, dark activity near Singapore. The Pentagon said in a statement, quote, as we have made clear, we will pursue global maritime enforcement efforts to disrupt illicit networks and interdict sanctioned vessels providing material support to Iran anywhere they operate. But according to Lloyd's list of widely trusted shipping analysis company, more than 24 dark fleet vessels have continued moving in and out of Iranian ports, as well as exporting Iranian origin cargo since the U.S. blockade began last week. U.S. Central Command says it has turned around more than 27 ships traveling to or from Iran since the blockade began in that same time frame. On Sunday night, Marines with the 31st Expeditionary Unit seized the MV Tuska, landing on the ship after rappelling from a helicopter after a 6-hour standoff. The U.S. forces seized an Iranian-flagged cargo vessel headed for the Iranian port Bandar Abbas. It is the first time Marines boarded a vessel since the blockade began. Central Command released video showing the operation to take the Tuska after its engine room was hit. And
so we're reporting that the Tuska, I reported yesterday. Today we're reporting that we took the TIFANI. Two different ships. The TIFANI, again, was a sanctioned oil tanker that fueled up and was trying to get away. We took the TIFANI today, and we took the TIFANI today, and we took the Tuska yesterday to keep the Straits of Hormuz shut down. Double tap the like button. So Donald Trump says that we will bomb.
Happy Take and Bake Tuesday.
Donald Trump says we will bomb when the ceasefire expires because Iran is refusing to come to the table. Iran is refusing to come to the table with a peace agreement. Let me get you that, Trump. So y'all know what's on the horizon. So we know what's on the horizon. Donald Trump threatens to bomb Iran when the ceasefire expires.
Donald Trump has accused Iran of violating the ceasefire.
and has warned that if a deal isn't reached, then lots of bombs start going off. Our CBS colleague, Ed O'Keefe, has the details.
Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to fly as soon as tonight to Pakistan for round 2 of talks with Iranian negotiators, who are also expected to attend. Most urgently on the agenda, reopening the Strait of Hormuz, which remains under a U.S. naval blockade, and assurances Iran will never build a nuclear weapon. President Trump continues signaling support for diplomacy.
We have very good conversations going on. It's working out very well.
But he also continues making threats.
They're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants.
Today, he warned it's highly unlikely he'll extend the ceasefire with Iran if a deal isn't reached by a Wednesday night deadline. But Iran's president warned his country will not bow to coercion. The impasse leaves congressional Democrats like Washington State's Adam Smith furious.
Trump doesn't know how to get out of this war that he started, and the costs keep going up. I'm also concerned a little bit that he keeps saying things that aren't true. He keeps telling us that the war is over and Iran has agreed to all of our demands, and we all know that's not true.
Here at home, the war is still causing pain at the pump.
Astronomical gas prices. It's insane right now.
The average cost of a gallon of regular is down 8 cents from a week ago, but it's still up more than $1 since the war began in late February. Energy Secretary Chris Wright says prices may not drop below $3 a gallon for several more months.
That could happen later this year. That might not happen till next year.
In an interview, the president disputed Wright's remarks, saying, "I think he's wrong on that. Totally wrong." The president is especially sensitive to the cost of gas because it's a big voter concern ahead of November's elections and a big reason why he continues to face such high disapproval ratings for his handling of the war.
Put a one in the chat if you support the president on his handling of the war. Put a one in the chat if you support the president on his handling of the war. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Zohrani Mamdani taking over socialism. All right, you guys, that was a great show, man. That was a great show. Let's go to the chat. Y'all got any comments, any questions, anything y'all want to discuss? That was a great show. Lisa put a one in the chat. Put a super chat in the chat. Hit the super chat. Put the super chat. Hit the like, share, subscribe, and join right now. It's your last opportunity before we close out for the night. This your last opportunity. Hit the super chat. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Double tap. Hit the like button. #1 podcast on YouTube for geopolitical debate. We had a great show today. Zohrani Mamdani, the Ayatollah of New York. Put it one in the chat. Do you agree with Zohrani Mamdani being the Ayatollah of New York? Double tap at the like button. Tonight is a countdown. We're going to see how Trump reacts to the ceasefire ending. Will the bombs fly? Bombs over Baghdad. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Wild Wednesday. All we do is win Wednesday. What we will discuss is what is the result. CNN propaganda at best. That's what I said. CNN is propaganda at that. Did y'all know CNN is in Iran right now? That CNN is broadcasting from Iran. That's what's going on right now. Double tap at the like button. So I agree with that. Keeping frozen up. Great show. Keeping frozen up. Thank you, man. Thank you. I know it kept freezing up today, so we ending the show early, man. We normally would go a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying, but we're going to end the show early because we having these technical difficulties. And I just want to stay in a positive mind state, man. You know, like I said, I talked to my wife about the technical difficulties the other day. And I said to my wife, I can't get upset because most times the broadcast works great. The broadcast works great. I'm trying to do something new, you know, and it's some growing pains when you're doing something new, you know what I'm saying? So right now we're simulcasting. We're doing the Mars multi-aspect ratio. I'm live on the cell phone and I'm live on the laptop. So you can see me horizontal, you can see me vertical And we actually had to up our subscription. It's the funny part is where I'm proud of myself for my mental health right now. I really am, because my mental health, man. My mental health is important to me, man. And I'm proud of myself today because I would have got upset. I typically would have got upset that StreamYard let me down. I pay all this money, and StreamYard let me down. They didn't, when I was doing the StreamYard for free, I had a better output. ain't that messed up? When I was doing StreamYard for free, the video, it showed better. So as soon as I upped the StreamYard, I started getting these issues, man. Last 2 days, I've been freezing. I haven't froze. It's like going back. It's like going back to when I first started doing YouTube. It's like I don't have this type of problem. I got professional equipment. I pay a lot of money for my internet provider. I even got a new router. I got a new router. When my YouTube channel started doing better, I called my internet provider and I said, I want the most recent router that you have so that I can get, better connection, because I want to provide a good show to my audience. I got the best router. I got good internet. I got good service, everything. StreamYard let me down, bro. StreamYard let me down, bro. Just start freezing up and glitching for no reason. Not showing at the proper ratio. Opens you up. Opens you up for the trolls to come in and attack you. It did with the multi-aspect ratio, and the podcast today just never got going at the proper momentum that we normally have. We get a momentum, we get going, the views go up. As soon as my views start going up, StreamYard start glitching. Oh, we're gonna freeze them out. But this week is going to be one of those building weeks. We're just going to keep building. We're going to keep working hard. And then today I put out a fire thumbnail. Like, we did some great work today. Fire community posts. If you subscribe to the channel, become a member, what I'm going to start doing is a lot of my intense breakdowns I've been doing to get to 250,000 views, millions of views. I'm gonna save that for Patreon and a member in the member tier. Right? All of the work I'll be doing and the great content for people to not listen and for people to cuss, I'm gonna just put it behind the paywall. So if you want to hear, like today, I'm not even talking about politics no more. If you want to hear my take on politics, you're going to have to pay for it. Straight up. No more free game. No more free game. And I'm going to put my political perspectives behind the paywall. So y'all want to become a member. Hit the membership. You want to become a member, hit the membership. Become a member as fast as you can. If you want to stay in tune with the #1 geopolitical podcast on YouTube, Perfect Timing Podcast, that's what we're doing. We're gonna move to the members thing, do some members only lives. I thought about doing a call-in number, but I don't know how to do a call-in number to where I make money, because I would want people to call. If you're gonna call in, you're gonna have to pay. Like, I researched it, and it's like, to get a call-in number that works good, like a Google calling, you can't charge people. So we ain't doing a call-in number till we can get somebody to pay. We ain't doing a call-in number till we can get somebody to pay. So we grinding it out this week. My producer got me going live every day. I kind of like going live every other day or every other couple of days, because what happens when you go live every other day, What the producer don't understand is you shake the trolls. So when you go live every day, you pick up these trolls and then you pick them up like ticks. I noticed that. I used to like going live every day, but when you go live every day, you pick up these trolls like ticks, and then they come and it's the weirdest shit. But I like going live every other day. I'm gonna talk to my producer. I'm gonna tell him I think the going live every day ain't gonna work out. He wanted me to go live every day this week, so I might commit to that schedule. I already told you guys I'll be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. We'll see about that when I talk with my team. See if we be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. We might take a day off, might take a couple of days off. Maybe let StreamYard get their shit together, see if they want to act right. You know what I'm saying? You know, anybody got anything they want to add? Anything they want to discuss? We talked about Starwell. Man, we talked about Fairfax and the murder in Virginia. He was supposed to go to court. We talked about the 31-year-old young man who unalived himself and his 7 kids, tried to kill the mother of the kids. We talked about Joe Rogan and Trump and the Ibogaine. I believe the young man that was 31, he should have stayed in the mental hospital, and those children would still be alive. It's messed up. It's messed up that it's messed up that you know, that those kids had to suffer like that when the community knew, doctors knew, like his family knew. His family knew. He told his family. He said, I'm having dark thoughts. And this another thing about the story, he had to check himself in. Why did he have to check himself in? If everybody around him knew that he had PTSD, he had mental health, why did he have to check himself into the hospital? Where was the community? Where was everybody? As you talk about community domestic violence, and the question that people are asking now is, why did he have a gun? It's not about that. He was a veteran. He probably had a gun legally. Why did the VA let him go? Why was he released from the VA? If he had mental health issues, and why was he allowed to be around these kids? If he told his family, if the family knew, if the mother knew, if everybody knew he had these dark thoughts, he should have got the help he needed. He was crying out for help. He put up posts. He put up a post on social media crying out for help. He checked himself into a mental hospital asking for help. He didn't get the help he needed. And we failed him. And now 7 children, his own children, have been unalived. I think 8 children in total. And you're going to hear the Democrats talk about gun violence. The Democrats are going to frame this debate in such a way that they can get legislation. The Democrats are going to frame this in such a way that they can get an election, that they can get votes. That's why it keeps happening. That's why these people keep getting released, and we have the angel families. Because the Democrats, like we identified with Jeffrey Epstein, they don't care about the victims. They don't care about the victims. So the Democrats immediately, what are we seeing? He had a gun. We need more gun laws. And what conservatives like me, what conservatives and MAGA understand is that the Democrats want more of your money. Because when they say they want more gun laws, that means more of your money. Because it costs money to institute laws and make the government bigger. Everything the Democrats, every answer is more laws, more government. Conservatives want less government, more freedoms. Less government, more freedoms, which means I keep more of my money. less laws, smaller government, smaller salaries for politicians. That means I keep more of my money. The Democrats say, no, give me more of your money and I can protect you with laws. And we all know conservatives understand that laws on paper don't protect you. All conservatives understand the laws don't protect you. But the Democrats sell you that I can write something on paper to make your life better if you give me more of your income. Barack Obama, I'll create a new health law, and it's going to require you to pay more money, but it's going to help you. People are going to get free health care. There's nothing free. Nothing is free. How can it be free health care if you mandated me to buy something? And then they still argue in 2026 about free health care that was never free. Barack rules. So, Zorani Mundani showing up to people's homes. Zorani Mundani, the Democratic darling. Zorani Mundani, the Democratic darling, showing up to people's homes unannounced to commit inspections, telling inner city people who live in apartments in New York, and we all know overpriced apartments, what they can and can't have on their stoop. The Democratic darling shut down New York, double tap, hit the like button, you guys. Join the channel. When you subscribe, there's going to be a plus sign. You could join the channel. Hit the super chat. I got my Cash App in the description. $ Big D Rants. Hit the Cash App. Nick Shirley. So our lead story was Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley helped us expose the fraud. Nick Shirley helped us expose the fraud in Minnesota. $19 billion worth of fraud in Minnesota. I think the president, he got to meet the president. The president congratulated him. Thank you, Wade. Thank you, Wade. Hit the Cash App. Show the haters that's what I love about how you make the haters quiet. Hit the super chat, become a member. That's how we make a difference, man. Because I need the support. Hit the Cash App, hit the super chat, send a gift, join the channel, subscribe. That's how we keep this movement going. I love your guys' support, but that's how we keep the movement going, man. Like, share, and subscribe, join the channel, send the super chat and support, and do it every day. And do it every day. It's $5 a month. That's like 25 cents a day. Everybody, if you support what I do, it's not a lot. And I believe we could do it, man. And if we do that, we can make a big change. And I feel like we are making a big change, you know? I feel like we are making a big change with everything we do. Great job. Get a job. Somebody said get a job. Get off your knees. Here comes the tears. No, I said donate. Wade said, thank you, my brother. Thank you, Wade. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. So Nick Shirley, an absolute patriot, man. Nick Shirley, an absolute patriot. Nick Shirley, absolute patriot, man. Nick Shirley exposing people. Nick Shirley exposing people. And the worst thing that I noticed is that the lost opportunity by the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? The lost opportunity by the Democrats. Wade said, I don't know how to. Hey, Wade, in the top right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. That's the ellipsis. You can hit those 3 dots, and it'll let you like or dislike the stream. You can do a lot of options right there. Join the channel, subscribe. Because, you know, it ain't really no subscribe button. In the top right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. It's called an ellipsis, and that'll help. That'll let you like and share. To subscribe to the channel, you got to click on the icon. And then at the bottom, you see they got a $sign. You can hit the $sign to do the super chat. You can hit the gift box to send a gift. If you on the cell phone, there's a downward facing chevron on the bottom right-hand side. You hit that, and you can hit the heart emojis that help the algorithm. He said, I'm 63 years old and had 3 strokes in my life. Well, God bless you. Thank you for watching, Wade. You make up the core of my audience. Believe it or not, most of my audience members are like you. For my analytics, you right up my alley. The way we're going to take over this channel, though, Wade, is I need everybody like you to donate. On my analytics, most of the people watch around your age, from 50 to 65. Those are my subscribers and my watchers. But I need the support. I need you guys to join the channel. When you subscribe, hit the plus sign. It's $5 a month. That's 25 cents a day. $5 a month. That's 25 cents a day. I need you to subscribe, hit the plus sign, join the channel, use your debit card, $5 a month. You could do $10 a month. You could do $20 a month. But the lowest one subscription is $5 a month to support the channel, the microphone, the StreamYard, the host, all of that. You see how they come in, Wade? They go, Mark Hayes right there. Hey, Mark, how old are you? Mark said, get a job. Mark Hayes, 5345. How old are you, Mark? So, Wade, if you're wondering why you should support the channel and the benefits, this is what it's about, bro. People like this. People like this, you know. 64. And this is another thing, too, Wade. It's so weird that I have a lot of people like this older age that are childish. Like, I look at my analytics are older people, and then they're hella childish and racist. This guy is 64 years old. Childish and racist. Pretending not to understand. You know what's so childish and racist about the comment? That they pretend not to understand how complex what I do is. Not only how complex and how difficult what I do is, this right here, but how expensive it is. Not only to do it, but to do it successfully. And I am successful. I am extremely successful. at my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is growing exponentially. Millions of views. Just last week, we did 1 million views, 250,000 on one episode. For anybody who comes in the chat and has anything to say, like, Mark, just try one time. Try to do a live stream and get 250,000 views. You go to your favorite YouTuber and see if they're getting 250,000 views per episode. So, don't get mad, Mark, that I use you as an example. You the one who's making insults, Mark. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. You the one that's a 64-year-old man acting like a child. Don't know have any emotional intelligence, just a grown-ass man baby. Pretending not to understand the complexities of a live broadcast. You're 64 years old. You know the complexities of a live broadcast. The technical capability, not just that, the character and the charisma, everything it takes. You're 64 years old. You damn well know how difficult this is. And like they always do, here go Mark again. You aren't important enough to be mad at. Well, don't worry, Mark, because you know what I'm good at doing is blocking people like you. Now, check this out. You can create another email address, or you can still watch, but you blocked now. Like Cardi B said, it's not bye, it's bye forever. These people come in here and say these things and act like, fine, there's other people live right now. Now Mark is free. I believe in freedom. I just let him go like a bird. Fly, pelican, fly. I just let him go like a bird. Fly, pelican, fly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You free. You know, it's like a girlfriend. You know how women be thinking that they the God's gift to the earth. I remember my mother, rest in peace, my late mother. Some viewers think they God gift to the. No, man, you free to go. You if you don't treat me better, I'm gonna find someone. Before she finished the sentence, that's how my mother raised me. Before she finished that sentence, it's goodbye. Get out of my car. Get out of my car. Get out. Give me take off that coat, take off them shoes I bought, and get out of my car. Before she finished the sentence, get out of my car. If you don't treat me better, I'm gonna get out my car. Bye. Never talking to your ass again. Mark in here acting like he cute. I said this the other day. Wait, these guys 64 years old. He in here acting like he cute. He in here acting like he cute. Oh man, he in here acting like he cute. You know, they be acting like they got pretty privilege. They be in the chat acting like they got pretty privilege. Oh man, coming in here threatening me. Wade said, "Hey man, my brother, coming in here like they got pretty privilege, man. Grown ass 64-year-old man acting like a cute bitch. That's what you acting like you a cute bitch. And someone got to cater to you because you cute, bitch. Nah, man, I'm not that type of dude. There ain't no simping over here. This is a conservative Republican channel. We do Trump news, giving Democrats the boo blues, giving Democrats the boo blues. That's what we do here, bro. That's what we do here, Republican, conservative. The last thing we was going to talk about was Nick Shirley. As we come up on 4 o'clock, man, couple things with the Nick Shirley video. In the Nick Shirley video, the Democrats showed they ass, like my mom would say, rest in peace. The Democrats showed they ass by treating a 20-year-old young man who's become a viral sensation on social media, not recognizing that fact. Nick Shirley has become a viral sensation on social media. So they were rude and dehumanizing to Nick Shirley on his platform on camera, which is the dumbest thing, knowing that he's viral, gets millions of views across multiple platforms. So they just, I mean, that's going to come back to haunt you in 2026. It's an election year. So that's one thing. You're rude to Nick Shirley, viral social media star, who's hot as fireworks right now because of the Somalian fraud. And now hospice fraud in California and LA. Him and Dr. Oz. So he's hot as a firecracker. Everyone's going to see the video. You treat him rude. So not only do you treat him rude, but you know what you do? You miss an opportunity. You don't recognize it's an election year. Nick Shirley is viral, and this is an opportunity for me to get a free commercial. We spend millions of dollars on campaign ads. Nick Shirley is viral. This video is going to go across millions of platforms and viewers. This is an opportunity for me to speak to the Democrats. Even if I disagree with Nick Shirley is only 20 years old. I can use this young man. I can use his platform. I can use this opportunity to my advantage. Not one Democrat took advantage. Do you guys understand? Not one Democrat took advantage of the opportunity and spoke to Nick Shirley with respect, and then looked at the camera and then spoke to his constituents. Nick Shirley, I disagree with you. I'm the co-author of the bill. I believe what you did was wrong, and now I want to speak to the Democrats and show Nick Shirley how to be a politician, show Nick Shirley how to be a leader. They had an opportunity to look at Nick Shirley in the eye. They all, I don't know who you are. Who are you? I don't know who the bill is. Ha ha, ha ha, hee, ha ha. I'm a millionaire. I look rich. I'm going to be rude to you. Fuck you. I'm going to walk over you, a 20-year-old young man who happens to be a social media star and celebrity. I'm going to walk over you like you're homeless and like you're poor. I don't care. I'm a politician. I'm just going to be rude to you. No, I don't know who you are. Knowing that Nick Shirley is the most viral celebrity associated with politics outside of Drewski because of that skit right now. You know who Nick Shirley is. So you do that, you damage yourself, and then at the same time, you lost an opportunity to be a true leader, to be a true politician. Nick Shirley, how you doing, young man? How you doing, young man? Yeah, I know who you are. I disagree with what you've been doing, which is why I co-authored the bill. If you want to do an interview, I invite you back to my office. But I want to take this opportunity to talk to your platform and my constituents about the Democratic agenda for California. Nobody did that. Nobody did that. Nobody took advantage of the opportunity. Nick Shirley gave them a huge opportunity. Nobody took advantage of the opportunity. Everybody treated Nick Shirley like shit. Everybody treated Nick Shirley like shit.
Here's one of the authors of the bill. How are you guys doing? We just want to ask you about the bill and why you guys would pass this bill that really is an attack on free speech.
I am not even sure what you're talking about.
Really?
You said an author. I don't think.
Yes. Did you pass out? Did you sign to pass this bill? The AB 26?
No, I don't
24?
know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You do not.
No,
Are you
guys
serious?
are just talking about.
We're talking about something random. Okay. Sasha, how are you doing? We just want to ask you about the bill AB 2624. Why would you sign off on that? It's a direct violation of the First Amendment, and it makes it harder for people to expose fraud here.
We have Ledge Council. They check the constitutionality of all our bills as we're writing them. I work on fraud issues. You'd know that if you look at some of the work I did on the budget subcommittee.
Amazing. So Mia Bonta, her husband's the Attorney General of the Attorney General of California, and it was only until I exposed fraud that they actually cracked down on the fraud and made some arrests here, especially with the hospices. And do you know that if this bill were to pass, it'd make it illegal for someone to go after fraud, especially if it's based off of immigrants, for instance, the Armenians in California?
No, I think that that's a misinterpretation of the bill, but I'm happy to talk with you more about it. And fraud and investigations into fraud are something that's been happening for a very long time. The Attorney General handles those cases. This is an ongoing
weird
issue.
that the wife of the Attorney General, Mia Bonta, is now pushing this bill that literally goes against the First Amendment.
No, I actually don't. I don't think that this bill violates the First Amendment. I mean,
Really?
that's the whole purpose. We have ledge counsel and ledge attorneys that talk with us about this. Constitutionality is really important to the work.
So your bill criminalizes publication of images recorded in public. Do you believe the government has the right to punish journalists for filming in public space?
No, I think that is a complete misinterpretation of actually the legislation.
He's reading it verbatim.
That is not. That's literally what happened. Speaker Rivas,
That's literally what the bill
how are you
says.
doing? What do you think about the Stop Nick Shirley Act?
Look how he treats
AB
Nick.
2624.
I don't know anything about it.
And do you think there's any conflict of interest there with Mia Bonta and her husband being the AG?
Look how
That
he
just
treated
shows
Nick
you
Shirley.
everything you need to know. These people won't even answer the questions. So you signed off your
I
co-author.
agree. That shows you everything you need to know. These are all the names of these Democrats: Isaac, Brian, Maria, Said Elway, Lena Gonzalez, Josh Lorenthal, Sasha Perez. This is Chris Ward. Look how they treat a 20-year-old young man who loves his country. And these are politicians. They're supposed to be public servants.
Throughout the AB 2624 bill, what made you want to sign off on this bill that would literally make it so NGOs don't have to disclose their money?
Yeah, we'd have to go back and look at the materials from that committee hearing.
Okay, and what, for instance, just answer the question. Why does your bill apply to organizations receiving taxpayer money? Shouldn't publicly funded entities have more transparency, not less?
Restate the question?
Yes, so entities that receive money from the government, shouldn't there be more transparency and not less?
I think we want to make sure that we are being accountable to public funds.
Yes, and so you sign off on a bill that would make that harder to have transparency.
Well, I don't think I saw it that way. I think that we're making sure that, all of our systems are able to get the money out to community and that there's transparency and accountability incorporated.
But you're literally signed off on a bill that would make it for less transparency, sir.
That's debatable, and I don't
It's
agree.
not debatable. They're going for immigration-based services. They're trying to make it harder for money to be disclosed.
Thanks.
Look, they just run off. How are you doing?
I just want to say hi. So great work. Very
Thank you.
proud of what you're doing.
And how come you think that they're just sign off on a bill that would make it harder for organizations that receive taxpayer dollars to be?
I don't agree with it. I think you're on the right track. This is an attack. It should not be. It's not right. You're doing well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're a co-author of the.
Yeah, the Republicans are taking advantage of the opportunity to get the free publicity, knowing that he's a viral sensation, and this will go out to millions of their constituents across multiple social media platforms. You typically have to pay for this type of publicity. And the Democrats just wasted an opportunity and then threw away this opportunity, but then created this attack ad for Republicans. Any Republican running against any one of these Democrats, this is your ad. I said, any Republican running against one of these Democrats, I just created your attack ad for you to win in 2026. Because there's no way in hell any of these people should defeat a comparable Republican with the way they treated this young man.
Stop Nick Shirley Act. Oh, you know who I am. My name is Nick Shirley, ma'am. You signed off on the AB.
I have no idea who you are, and she's laughing and lying. It's sick.
You're doing well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're
The Republican says, I know who you are. You're doing well. Everyone knows who Nick Shirley is. He's viral. It's 2026 social
co-author
media.
of the Stop Nick Shirley Act. Oh, you know who I am. My name is Nick Shirley, ma'am. You signed off on the AB 2624 Act. Can you tell us about what you did on that?
I don't even know who you are.
Well, my name's Nick Shirley. But either way, can you tell me about this assembly bill you're trying to pass?
Shirley.
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
But could you please just answer any question about the AB 2624?
Again, did she realize that this is viral? Did she realize that Nick Shirley is viral across multiple platforms? And you just ruin your opportunities for 2026? And she's going to cry. She's going to cry when we hold this against her when 2026 election comes around.
For Bill, a lot of people are worried about that it's going to stop fraud investigations, but you're the one who signed.
We want to talk to you because you're the one that's going to want our vote in 2026. You're the one that's going to want our vote in 2026.
Signed off and you're a co-author of it. These people are crazy. They can't even answer questions about the bills that they're co-authoring. Hello, Mr. Lowenthal. How are you doing?
Okay. How are
Doing
you?
great. How do you feel about proposing a bill that would put $10,000 fines and potential jail time for publishing a video from a parking lot?
Wait, can you say that to me again? Let me
Yeah, so
understand that a
AB
little bit
2624,
more. Okay.
if a journalist were to go and investigate fraud in an immigrant service company, essentially, from the government that receives taxpayer dollars, they could potentially risk receiving a $10,000 fine with this bill you guys are trying to pass.
Well, I need to read the bill.
But you signed off on the bill. You passed the bill.
So you signing off and passing bills you've never read.
What do you mean I passed the bill? I don't know.
It's gone through two times and it's been passed.
What 2 times? Where are you referring to? Are you referring to committees?
Yes.
Which committees?
I can tell you right here if you give me a second. But
speaking of committee, I'm in the privacy committee right now, but
Yep.
I don't think that bill has passed before my
he's a co-author of it. He's a co-author of that bill. What's your thoughts on this AB 2624 bill? Any response? Like, what would make you guys want to pass this?
Completely ignore Nick. So that was our lead story today, man. Nick Shirley did a good job, man. That was our lead story today. Nick Shirley did a good job, man. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Thank you, everybody, man. We had a fire show today. Man. We be back tomorrow at 1 p.m., man. Double tap, hit the like button. We be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. And we sent StreamYard an email, and we're gonna get the StreamYard going better. What's going on with you? Hey, perfect. Hey, entirely me. How you doing? Hey, entirely me. How you doing? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. So just closing out the show. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for leaving a comment with your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thumbnail. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But check me out. I'm doing multi-broadcasting now. You can catch me on horizontal. I got the horizontal up and I got the cell phone view. So if you're at home and you want to watch me on the TV, you can watch me on the TV now. I got the horizontal and I got the vertical. So you can watch me on the TV. Relax and talk sports. What's up with your boy? Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. So yeah, man, you can watch me on the vertical or the horizontal. We had some technical difficulties today, but it's all good. It's all good, you know. Like I said, I've been saying, man, I talked to my wife, and we were saying that I have so many good days, man. When I have a bad day, I can't take it. I can't get mad, man. You know, I have so many good days. Last week we did $500,000, and I've done that a lot. You know, if you take a look at my videos, I get millions of views. It's not the first week we did 1 million views. You know, if you look right there right now, it's about 10 videos, all of them above 100,000. It's like that all over. So, you know, we blessed. And the one thing I learned as I've grown in this life is never look a gift horse in the mouth. You know, when you bless, you know, people be like, you get used to it. It's like, this is the definition of spoil. And what you got to be able to do is you got to be able to move. You got to be able to move through the affliction like Job, steadfast through the affliction like Job. So I'm proud of myself. Even in my comment section, I got super chats and people left comments saying that I had kept my composure and had a good show despite the fact that we faced technical difficulties today. And, you know, it's like that sometimes, you know. We're trying something new. We're trying something new with the multi-aspect ratio, with the vertical and the horizontal. You know, some of my favorite YouTubers do both the vertical and horizontal at the same time. Yesterday we had really, really good success with both vertical and horizontal, and today was a little bit slower, and the StreamYard froze up, but it was a really bad storm today too. Right as we went live, God opened the sky, thunder, lightning, rain. So I'm sure that affected the internet connection. Blame it on the rain. Yeah, yeah. You can blame it on the rain, because the rain don't mind and the rain don't care. Blame it on the rain. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Today we're going to blame that on the rain, man. Blame that bitch on the rain. Perfect. What happened to the, man, we're going to blame it on the rain, man. Can you stand the rain? Storms will come. This we know for sure. This we know for sure. Can you stand the rain? That's what happened, man. I love that, man. He said, storms will come. This we know for sure. This we know. I mean, when you singing it and you dancing and you got your hand around the big booty girl at the party and big booty Teresa, and you laying your head on her shoulder and you grabbing on the booty and you whispering and you don't even know how loud you actually whispering, and big booty Teresa think that you is serenading her, but you don't really realize that you are singing out loud because you are hypnotized by the booty. So you got your hands on the booty, the music is playing, it's the school dance, you drunk off a Crush, Orange Crush mixed with Mountain Dew. I've been eating whipped cream, having lucid dreams. You've been mixing whipped cream with Mountain Dew and Crush. So you're hyped up off the balloons. You've been blowing the helium balloons, sucking the helium balloons, drinking whipped cream and soda. Now you're in the middle of the party. You don't know, your head is spinning, your head full of booty. Grabbing on the booty, head full of booty. And you whispering, in your mind you whispering, and you got your head on her shoulder, and you, stars will come. This we know for sure. This we know for sure. Tell me, baby, can you spare some change? I know all day long I've been asking for donations and subs. Can you spare some change? Hit the super chat right now. Hit the super chat. I know all the days won't be perfect. Perfect time. I know all the days won't be perfect. What's the name of the show, man? What's my name? Perfect. What's the name of the show? Perfect Type of Podcast. I know all the days won't be perfect. But tell me, can you stand it? Can you stand it? Can you stand the rain? Ow! Stand it. No pressure to sub, baby. But I need it, and I want you to subscribe. Somebody clip that. Somebody clip that. No pressure from me, babe. But I need you and I want you to subscribe. Tell me, baby, can you spare some change? Storms will come. This we know for sure. This we know for sure. Can you spare some change? Oh, storms will come. This we know for sure. EDZ. The biggest drop of the day is Southern Poverty Law Center indicted by DOJ for defrauding donors and giving $1 million to the KKK. I don't know. That sounds like some Democratic shit where you want to focus on black versus white. That sounds like some Democratic shit, you know, where you and crying and you whining and you want to focus on black versus white. We don't do that here, bro. Let's highlight this guy. He said this is the biggest drop. I disagree. I think this is divisive. I think this is Democratic divisive politics. This is the way the Democrats play pool, and I think it's dirty. What KKK? It's kind of like when these old white men want to tell us about the Cold War in 2026. And these old black men like Eric Holder want to talk about Jim Crow in 2026. What Jim Crow, brother? What KKK? I'm not even trying to be like an Uncle Tom. Do you realize I just said the people on this channel are in the 60s, in the 50s. They lived during the time in the 19th century when we actually had a KKK, right? When we actually had this racism that you say that this boogeyman I need to worry about or you should worry about. But it's not 1960 anymore. This is why we get pissed off at Biden. This is why Biden lost. This is why Barack Obama is irrelevant, because it's 1960 when he wants you to vote for Kamala, but it's 2026 when he wants you to vote for Abigail Spanberger, the white woman who ran against a black Republican. Do you see the hypocrisy? How is that not the biggest story? How is it not the biggest story that Abigail Spanberger in Virginia is stealing the votes from Virginians, Democratic and Republican, by redistricting Virginia to 10 seats? And giving all away their electoral college votes. That doesn't have anything to do with color. Everybody's electoral college votes has been stolen, regardless of their color. You and the Democrats come out with shit like this to be divisive and separate us and get us not to focus on Zohran Mordani being the new Ayatollah. You don't want us to focus on Sharia zones in Brooklyn. You don't want us to focus on Brooklyn becoming like London and non-Muslim women wearing hijabs because the police are teaching them how to wear hijabs, and non-Muslim women in certain enclaves of New York wearing a hijab, not because they're Muslim, but because it's easier for them to go to the bus stop and not get fucked with if they wear the fucking hijab. There's no law saying there's Sharia law in this neighborhood, but the immigrants took over because remember, 10 million came here under fucking Biden. So this neighborhood is full of Islamic immigrants. It used to be full of Hasidic Jews, but I'm the last white bitch in the neighborhood. And in order for me to go buy my fruit from the neighborhood store that's now an Indian market that sells fucking halal pizza, I gotta wear a hijab. Because the little 15-year-old Muslim kids in the neighborhood will throw rocks at you. That's what's happening in London. That's what preceded Brexit. Y'all don't know what Brexit is? Y'all don't know what happened in Britain? White women getting accosted at buses. 300 African Islamic immigrants waiting for the bus. But this is Brussels. This is Switzerland. This is Austria. Used to be white European. 80-90% white European. Now the white woman is at the bus stop and there's 300 Muslim kids going to school in their garb, and they treat her like shit because the way she's dressed. Now, you know, teenagers can be mean. These are not adults. These are kids. But the way they've been trained by their imams, the way they interpret Islam, this is the way they act it out in public. Did y'all see the video of the Mall of America? How many people have seen it? Now that's in Austria, Sweden, and Brexit. How many people have seen the video of the Mall of America? You know, with a Somalia, baby Somalia. If you look at the Mall of America, what you see, it looks like the Middle East. All Muslims, all women with hijabs. Two things. The environment we're talking about already exists in America. I'm going to say it again. The environment, remember the girl, the white girl in the Mall of America, and she got in trouble and they said she was being racist. But what really happened is the Somalians were fucking with the white girl because of the way she was dressed. And no one ever took a look at the other videos from the Mall of America to see it looks like Dubai. Everyone in the Mall of America in Minnesota, this is one of the biggest malls in America. Everyone is walking around with Muslim garb on. All the women are wearing hijabs. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, Mall of America. So when these people saw the white bitch behind the counter and they told her and fuck with her for not wearing the proper garb, this is what we've been talking about all day today. It already exists. We already have this in America. It already exists. Who remembers the video of that white woman who got in trouble? They said she was being racist, called them the N-word. And no one told the truth about what happened. They accosted her, the same thing that happens in Europe. But you won't understand it unless you see videos from the Mall of America, and everybody in the mall looks like we're in Dubai. So it's kind of what the Somalian Muslim was saying. She's the one that's out of place. All the women in this mall are dressed a certain way. I don't care if it's Minnesota. I don't care if we're in America. All the women in this mall are dressed a certain way except for you. And he understood, just like the Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran, in order to keep the influence and power that we have in Minnesota, I got to check this white woman. This is what they do this is what the morality police do in Iran. The men of the Somalian descent that live in Minnesota, they understand how to keep power. They understand that we have taken control of this American city. Everyone in this mall is wearing a hijab. And if we want it to stay like that, we're going to have to enforce it. Do you guys hear me? Everyone in this mall is wearing a hijab, but this white woman. So they fucked with her. And it makes sense. If you think about it from their perspective, it makes sense. They've accomplished something. They've accomplished something. They've acquired this American city, and they have the majority of the influence, and they want to keep that influence. So they're not going to just let women walk around without hijabs. This is happening in Minnesota now. This is not Iran. This is not Sharia law in Iraq. We're talking about America. We're talking about Brooklyn, New York, under Zohran Mardani, under Jacob Fry. I'm talking about the Mall of America, where people like me and you go on vacation because it's so big. I want to go to the Mall of America in the Twin Cities. Minnesota Twins, one of America's favorite baseball teams. No bullshit. Who don't like the Minnesota Twins? There's a lot of teams people hate. The Bears, the Cubs. You know, you get in trouble for talking about the Cubbies, right? But everybody doesn't like the Cubs. There are some teams, the Padres, there are some teams everybody doesn't like. Who the fuck doesn't like the Minnesota Twins? Think about it. People love the Twin Cities. There are certain places in America, like the San Francisco Bay Area, that, like, you can't get in trouble for wearing a San Francisco Giants jersey or 49ers. Everybody loves, unless you're a Dallas fan or Green Bay, but everybody loves the San Francisco Giants. If you come by one, you can get away with it. It's the same thing with the Minnesota Twins. There's not a lot of people who hate the Minnesota Twins. There's no huge rivalry with the Minnesota Twins. The Twins, we love the Twin Cities. It's one of those all-American places that we all love. We all want to travel to, like LA, like New York, like Chicago. There are certain places in America Americans just love, and we go there on vacation. The Twin Cities is one of these places. The Mall of America is one of these destinations. In the Somalian community, the Islamic, Sharia Islamic have taken over the Twin Cities. And it's not like I'm being like hyperbolic. I'm talking about Somalian mayor. I'm talking about Somalian congresswoman. I'm talking about Somalian senator. Did you know there was Twin Cities? It's not just Jacob Fry. There's Twin Cities. So the other city, there's a Somalian mayor. A lot of people were saying, oh, Jacob Fry is not Somali, and you didn't do your research. I've done my research. There's a female Somalian mayor who told the police to stand down and said that we will not work with ICE. That's why I know her name. There's a female Somalian mayor who said we're not working with ICE and told the police chief to stand down. She didn't make the news. Jacob Fry made the news. She didn't make the news. How many people knew about that? How many people knew about the female Somalian senator? So Ilhan Omar is a congresswoman. Ilhan Omar is a congresswoman. But how many people knew that there's a female Somalian senator? Wow, this is relevant because $19 billion was stolen, and allegedly the Somalian community, so far 100 Somalian immigrants have been arrested, 3,500 TPS has been rescinded. They should be going back to Somalia on their pirate boat. But during the $19 billion theft, would never, because they want to focus on Nick Shirley. We just showed a video of Nick Shirley. But what's never talked about is how did you steal $19 billion while at the same time having a Somalian mayor, a Somalian congresswoman, and a Somalian senator? That's a lot of oversight. No one saw anything. No one knew all this money. 19 billion is a lot. Now, remember, Ilhan Omar had a party at the Safari Club. Did the congresswoman, did the senator? That's a lot of money. So there was a lot of money flowing through a community that was supposed to be 80% on welfare. Why can't you, why wasn't any of these other people held accountable? The female Somalian senator, I never see her in the news. It's never talked about because it would make Americans wonder what really was going on, because we pay these people with American taxpayer dollars to do what they failed to do. So if Americans really knew beyond what Nick Shirley showed at the Leering Center, that wait a minute, it was that complex. It was that complex that it was a Somalian mayor. She didn't catch it. It was a Somalian congresswoman who helped create the legislation that led to the fraud, but she didn't catch it. And then there was a Somalian senator, and she didn't catch it. And this fraud went on for years to the tune of billions of dollars. And but these Somalian politicians benefited from getting reelected, and Somalians donating money to their campaigns. That's why one of the people who gave Ilhan Omar a celebration party at the Safari Club is in prison. So they made billions of dollars from frauding the government, but they in turn donated the money to Omar's campaign, the mayor's campaign, the senator's campaign, who all happen to be, drum roll please, Democrats. They're all Democrats. The Somalians are, operatives of the Democratic Party. Omar is one of the squad. They're all Democrats. And we've seen in 2025 and 2026 how far Democrats will go for seats, how important seats are to Democrats. We saw it in Texas with Jasmine Crockett. We're seeing it again in Virginia with Abigail Spanberger, stealing the vote away from Americans. What's up with the Democrats being so anti-democratic? Zerani Mondani showing up to your house unannounced like the Gestapo, let me in by the hair of your chinny chin chin. I want to bring out my ruler and measure your bathroom right now. What? That's not what I voted for. Democrats don't do that. Why is Irani knocking on my door saying he got to come in and measure my bathroom? That's not what I voted for. He didn't call me. He didn't make an appointment. Doesn't seem very democratic, prudent, or even respectful to my personal space. It doesn't even seem to respect me. And then he uses the excuse. This is, if you don't come to my house announced or by invitation or with an appointment, most people would take that as a sign of disrespect. He guises this disrespect in the shadow of, I want to help you. He's a hustler. I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know. You voted for Mondani. Now you got to go. I just want to love you and be who I am. And if I take your money to Israel, Mondani, showing up at your house. Showing up at your house uninvited with a ruler. That's what you voted for in New York. Your Democratic liberal savior is going to knock on your door unannounced to measure your bathroom in America. I've never seen a mayor do that. I love that it's a Democrat who does it first. I love that it's a Democrat who does it first. It goes so far for our argument, MAGA. I love that it's a Democrat wearing a city uniform. And what did we say? He says, hey, this is going to help you. I'm going to report everything I find. I'm going to report everything I find to the landlord. What did I say? I said if the landlord is forced and then penalized up to $10,000 to $20,000 and then made to fix that apartment, he will then evict that tenant and then raise the rent because he's improved the apartment. It's now a luxury apartment. It's not raising the rent for nothing. If anyone argues at the rent office, hey, Perfect raised the rent. I raised the rent because Irani Mondani showed up, measured the bathroom, and they mandated me to put in new rails and new glass. It cost me 20 grand. So I need to recoup that. The apartment looks 1,000% better. I'm charging more money because the apartment is worth more because I put more money into it. Is that not how real estate works? Is it not more valuable now that I've made upgrades, significant upgrades? Whether or not they were mandated by the mayor of New York, it still stands that I've made significant upgrades to this facility and domicile, correct? Yeah. Unfortunately, to the old tenant, unfortunately, he's right. The city did make him make the upgrades. You lived there before he made the upgrades. After he's made the upgrades, it does make sense that he would raise the rent. He has a legal amount that he can raise it. He's raised it to the max. You no longer qualify. You got to move out. You no longer qualify. You got to move out. Thank you, Irani Mondani. Why the fuck is the mayor going door to door with a fucking ruler like he's the police, like he's the fucking Gestapo? He's a Democrat. I thought you were for the people. I don't know if my house is clean. My wife, I could be having immigrants in there. I could be smoking weed in there. It could be anything going on in this motherfucking house. But in America, I got a right to privacy. Why the fuck is the mayor knocking on my fucking door without an appointment, unannounced, with a fucking ruler? And you a Democrat. You're supposed to be on my side. Tomorrow, 1 p.m., y'all tune in. God bless America. God bless Nick Shirley. You know, he been getting death threats. Yeah, I can't believe it either. After what happened to Charlie Kirk, the Democrats, you think the Democrats would, I'm not going to cuss because we're talking about God and we're saying a prayer right now, but you think after what happened to Charlie Kirk, the Democrats would learn, but nope. Nick Shirley is 20-some years old and he's getting death threats, and they think it's a joke, like they won't act on it. You got all these people shooting. Trump has been shot. Charlie Kirk's been assassinated. You got the Dallas shooting. I don't take it lightly when you have death threats. So God bless Nick Shirley. Put a covering over Nick Shirley. God bless America. God bless the president. God bless the memory of Charlie Kirk. God bless everybody in the chat with a positive outlook. And I love you and thank you. Hit the like button. I want to say thank you to everybody. Man versus Hulk, Jordan, Eric, everybody who sent a super chat. It means everything to a creator. Everyone who liked, shared, subscribed, and became a member. Thank you. We're grinding to 100,000, and we're not gonna stop. We're not going to be stopped. We're not going to be dismayed. I want to say thank you to everybody who watched and subscribed today and stuck with us through the rain. I want to say everybody thank you who watched and subscribed, joined the channel, sent super chats, and rolled it out through the rain. You know, we talked about Job earlier. And when I read Job, I did a sermon on Job. And you know what I found about Job? God was more upset. God was more upset with his friends for not being good counsel and not being solid. Job had increase at the end, but Job had increase because God made those so-called fair weather, sometime he has friends, give him all of their things. Because when Job was in affliction, they were poor friends and they didn't give him proper support and counsel. So I say thank you and I love you to everybody who really supports the channel, who rides it out through the good times and the bad times, because storms will come. This we know for sure. This we know for sure. Can you stand the rain?